All right, y'all. Another episode of Corona Chronicles with the Apartment 5B squad. I got my man Vern out of ATL. What's going on, Vern?
What's up? What's up, everybody? How y'all doing?
Eddie out of LA. What's good brother?
What's good, man? Let's get into it.
DJ Rec 1, Queens, Jersey, Houston. What's going on?
Ain't nothing, man. Just trying to stay safe out here in these Corona streets. You know how I go.
Yeah,
growing out my goatee. You know, I take a little. You know what I mean? Since I got to rock the fresh face.
I feel you. And yo, the first time it's been forever. This is my man, 50 grand from 93, Morgan State. My man Jace, Philadelphia representative, low life at heart. I can't tell you how much low we done brought together over the days. Got the Philly beard in effect. What's going on, Jace?
What's good, man? Chilling, man. I'm trying to stay out the way. That's all, man.
Brother, I feel you. I feel you. I feel you on that. Yo, so let's jump right into it. We got my man Sheem getting everything together. Last week, Eddie, what was it? It was Friday. What's the joke?
Right.
April Fool's Day. It was April Fool's Day. And my man posted a joint like, yo, which one of these are classic? Like Jay Electronica, The Stove Guy Cooks, I want to say the Voice album. Just basically albums that just came out within the past month. And was like, which one was a classic?
Right, it was like four albums.
Yeah, it was like four of them. I was like, look, I don't care what none of y'all say. This Stove Guy Cook album, a classic to me. I love it. I've been playing nothing ever since. And then he came back later at night, like, yo, shouts to all my people who knew that was an April Fool's joke. Number one, I'm like, my nigga, it's a pandemic going on. We really joke. We still doing April Fools. Like, I thought we ain't skipped a year, like, nigga. And then I said what's even worse is I see this shit all the time on Twitter. You know what I mean? Like, Jay Electronica drop at midnight. By 1 a.m., it's a 5-minute classic. So then me and Eddie started talking the same way me and Ev would about classics and how long does it take. So as always, first question, going around the table, how long does it take for an album for you to become a classic? And the reason why I'm saying this is because maybe the word classic is wrong, because I know the source got us in the 5-mic mindset of classic. But what I think about when me and my man Lord Cross in 1987, Funkel Mart downtown in Market Street, and Jace know what I'm talking about. We only had enough money to buy one album a piece. He said, I'm gonna buy EPMD, you buy the Jungle Brothers, and then the week we gonna swap because you know what I mean, neither one of us got the money for it or whatever like that. So it was like, okay, we gonna swap. And then a week later, it was like neither one of us wanted to give up the album. We was like, nah, man, this album too good to this thing. And again, I don't know what we called it. I'm sure the word wasn't classic, but I knew from that week with EPMD that this album was great. Again, I'm sure we ain't called it a classic yet, but I knew, and my man on Twitter was like, yeah, we used to just call it dope. And I'm like, that's true, but there was a difference between EPMD dope and the K9 Posse dope. Like, there was a difference. Like, it wasn't the same across the board. It was different between I Got It Made dope and fucking King Son dope. Like, so, again, we're just looking at classic. Sheem, you good?
Yeah.
I bet. Now we got you in touch. It's my man Sheem from Philly over here, Polo representative, another Polo rep. You know what I mean? Digger, everything at hand. Glad to have you on, good brother. So we're just talking about, and so I want to know, like, and we could just say Illmatic. Did it really? Because my man, I just asked on Twitter, it was like, how long? He said 10 years. And I said, God damn. So it took you didn't call Illmatic a classic until 2004? Like, it really took you 10 years. And then two, why is it that we could leave a movie? We could see Goodfellas. From the first time I saw Goodfellas, I was like, oh, that's a classic. You know what I mean? And so what's different about music, the movies, or whatever? Jace, you start us off, brother. For you, how long does it take you for you to call an album a classic, or was it like that back in the day, or how does it work for you, man?
I guess for me personally, I'll go with the feeling that the album invokes. I mean, we're in the fucking time of like instant gratification. Like, if shit don't catch you right then, like, motherfuckers just let it go. Like, I'll take it back 2 years ago. I went to New York for my birthday. I took a bunch of my boys with me. We got hotel rooms. We was chilling. My birthday's May 26th. 2 days before that, or the day, no. My birthday was that Saturday. That Friday, May 25th, was when Pusha T's album Daytona dropped. Now, I've actually listened to that shit every day since it came out. Like I listened to it by myself, getting ready to go wherever we was going. We listened to it the whole time I was in New York. That was Memorial Day weekend. We didn't listen to nothing else. We might have listened to like only Built for Cuban Links because we was in New York or whatever, but just because we were from Philly and whatever. But
Right.
nah, like I mean, it depends on the feeling that the body of work gives you.
All right.
That's
No
the way
doubt.
I look at it.
No doubt. Vern, what about you in the ATL? Is it different in the A? Is it about the feeling? How do you judge a classic?
I'll go with Jace a little bit on the feeling of it. I mean, I think if you've listened to enough hip hop, if you watched enough great movies or albums, you know what fits into that caliber. But I would say that we do need to allow some time to elapse because all of these classic albums, I mean, that people keep heralding as classics, you ain't listening to no more. So one of the other litmus tests I would say is that are you listening to it 6 months later, a year later? If you're not, how classic is it?
Right.
Not even mention it. 444. Come on, man. Nobody's.
Well, I don't know, man. There's some Jehovah's Witnesses out there still listening to 444 every single day of their life. I mean, I say that on the timeline, and people are like, yo, I'm listening to it right now, Kill. And I'm like, really, nigga? Like, right now while you're tweeting. But again, neither here nor there. Sheen, what about you? How long does it take something for you to give it the classic stamp?
It would probably have to take years, to be honest, because I'm not one of those people that'll just follows through like, oh, if like with the J Electronica album, people weren't calling that a classic. Well, we're not even gonna talk about that album. That's another conversation. But yeah, it would probably have to take me years. Oh no, don't. I'm not gonna hold you. It's
we talk about that. We'll talk later. About that. We'll get into that. But
it would probably take me years, depending on the album. But I'm an old head. I'll be 47 this year, so it's not classics that I would classify. During the 2000s. I'm still stuck in the 90s, Kill.
I hear you. All right. DJ Rec One, what about you? And I already know your point, so I'm gonna come to you last so you can pull us all in. Rec, what about you?
I give it. I'm with Jace a little bit, man. Like when I first listen to something, I know what kind of feeling it's gonna give me. I'll give you an example. Kendrick's what's the first? Not the first album, but the first mainstream joint.
Section 80.
You talking about Good Kid?
Good Kid, yeah. Section 80, I don't really count it as like a mainstream because cats still ain't heard it. They don't even know it's such thing as that album. So when I heard Good Kid for the first time, I knew. I was like, okay, this is gonna have some traction. Whether it have traction with me or who else, you know what I'm saying? In my personal opinion, I knew it was gonna have some traction. I knew how I was gonna feel about it. And I would say on my second listen, if I got to spin it right back after my first listen, then I'm probably gonna sit with that album for a minute. And like Vern said, as far as time, I give it a solid month. If it stays in my rotation for a full 30 days, I know it's gonna be something that I'm gonna rock with, most likely for time.
Right. I feel you, and I think I'm a mixture. I'm exactly with Jace. I'm like verbatim, like because to me, and y'all know I say it all the time, music is about what speaks to you. You know what I mean? So if somebody listen to J Electronica, and I at least say, can we give it a day? Like before, like can we? The album will come out at midnight, and by like 12:21, it's a classic, and the album is like 40 minutes. I'm like, damn, you done gave it a class. You ain't let the whole album go through yet. So, but if it speaks to you, then it speaks to you. But I'm with Jace. Like it's the feeling it gives me, and it's crazy. He used Daytona as an example. Same exact album. I heard Daytona, and I was just like, after the 7 songs, I was like, yo, this is a classic. I'll be listening to this. Like, I just know. I just know that. And I guess that's why I really never beef with nobody when they call it a classic, especially if I know the mindset of people. We know none of us up here are the mindset of, I'm just jumping on the bandwagon because everybody else is calling it a classic. You know what I mean? So if something comes out and Vern is like, yo, this is a classic, I'm like, yo, it's a classic because I know Vern. I know his pedigree. But same thing, Tana Talk, 3, when Benny dropped that, I was like, yo, what I try to start doing even in my reviews is I give it 4.5 and then maybe even come back in 6 months to kind of put that 5 mic on it. But I almost felt like that was cheap. I almost felt like You know what I mean? Like, that's cheap. This stove, God cooks. Yo, I knew this was a clap. Yo, because certain things I love. Dope beats, coke rap, and quotables. You give me those three things, and I'm good to go. And it's so funny because what is Pusha T? Coke rap, dope beats, and quotables. With Benny, coke rap, dope beats, and quotables. Stove God cook. This nigga said, if I'm an author, I'm going to name the book How to Flip a Bird, have a book reading sitting around the stove. Then the nigga says something like, yo, since you want to be Pac, rock, get shot, die with that ring in your nose. I was like, yo, this nigga's crazy. This nigga's a fucking idiot. You know what I mean? Like, yo, so just from them quotables to me, I was like, yo, it's a 5 mic classic. Y'all can say what y'all want about me. But again, it goes back to that feelings. I always tell people, PJ Morton, this has only happened once in my life. This album, Gumbo, if y'all never heard it, listen to it. Amazing album. By the 5th song, I was like, yo, this album is incredible. And I started writing a review, and I hadn't even finished the album. I was literally writing a review as the songs came on because it was that good. Now, that's never happened in 46 years. So, again, I'm 100% with Jace that to me, it's just about the feeling that it gives you. You know you. Nobody knows you better than you. You know what I mean? So if it gives you that feeling, like that PJ Morton just gave me that feeling like, yo, this just feels good. And yeah, you know, it's probably 2 years later, I'm still banging it. But Ed, break down your breakdown on what it takes to be a classic and everything like that.
All right, so I would say it's probably more similar to what Vern was saying, but for me, you know, obviously I know when an album is dope. When I listen to it, you know, if it hits my ear just right, you know what I mean, the content, the lyrics, the production and all that. But as far as being a classic, I feel like, you know, I have the higher standards because there's certain albums that, you know, I was really excited about when they first dropped, you know, listen to them that I don't revisit, like, you know, a few of us were saying. And then, you know, there's some albums that, you know, we're still fairly early into 2020, right? So right now, all right, will this be album of the year? Right now, it's high on my list of album of the year, but what else might drop this year that might knock that off the pedestal? And, you know, will it still be getting the same play when, you know, some other really dope albums drop this year? To me, that's really going to be the test. So I just kind of feel like, you know, for it to be a classic, is it one of the dopest albums of the year, right? Then a couple years later, am I still listening to it? Is it one of the dopest, you know, albums of the decade, right? So, yeah, I mean,
So
it may not take a decade, you know what I mean?
How long would it take you? Like 6 months, maybe, or a year? A year?
Depends. 6 months to a year. 6 months to a year, I say.
All right, let me ask you this.
I have a really good, yeah.
Because I know the Genius Liquid Swords is your album. If that album dropped in 95, how long did it take you to say this is a classic?
You know, I don't know, you know, like what you were saying. I don't know if I was using them terms then, you know what I mean?
So maybe it's the terminology. Do we need to change the terminology? So then it's like you said that you can, you know, it's something. And real quick, I'm sorry, y'all know I suck with this new stuff. People on the timeline, Porsche saying what's up to everybody. Sean says, let me get this straight. Sean is saying, I feel like judging a classic is always dependent on the rapper and the effort he put into the album. He's also saying he does believe in instant classics. You know, Porsche don't believe in instant classics. Frank is saying, I also think nowadays the term is more subjective to who's saying it, much like legend. Great point, because I feel like everybody, you know, is a legend and they get one album, it's a legend. But you were going to say something, Frank. What were you going to say?
I just wonder why the rush to judge stuff. I mean, like, dude coming in the NBA, his 6th game, he scored 20 points. Oh, he's on track to surpass fill in the blank. I'm like, dog, he ain't been in the league a minute, and we already christening him the next this or that. And I think it kind of just does a disservice. Like somebody said, legend, friend is a word that's thrown around too loosely. Legend is a word that's thrown around too loosely. Man, let's let it
genius.
Genius.
Yeah,
Yes. Let's let
I hate that shit.
Let's let time.
Yeah.
Time will sort out all of these things. I mean, it's like, bro, 2 minutes. It's like, yeah, the way people do this is like you see a chick at the mall and you ask her to marry her. You don't even know her name good, and that's how we do.
Right.
With music. Slow down, man. If it's classic, we gonna know it. It's gonna be here.
So
I
here's,
just know she got the coronavirus. She's trying to get the joint to marry.
here's the other things, you know what I mean? Like going back, you mentioned the genius, right? So one of the I think one of the things about that album, I felt like, the wave, right? The wave at the time, the Wu-Tang wave, so I was on there, man. I was on that bandwagon. So it's kind of easy to say that, all right, you're just jumping on the bandwagon, but at the same time, when you're on a bandwagon, when something comes out that's not up to par, you kind of know it. Your expectations start getting high. You know what I mean? So, but I feel like
for the Jizza, how long did it take you? And again, let's take the word out, classic. Just
right.
Like, and for people who don't know, when me and Eddie, when I went to L.A., Ed Show Love, we went to Meeble Records, we went digging, and he had the idea to just grab a record that really spoke to you. And y'all know me, I grabbed Aquemini, and Ed grabbed Jizza. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm using Jizza, for you, as to say, like,
no doubt.
When did you know that it was dope, or when did you know it was going to be special? We'll say special.
Man, probably probably pretty quickly. I mean, I had the tape. I remember, passing it around the lunch table and stuff like that. Friends were asking me to copy it. Or some friends didn't want to give it back. I had to press them for it. But it didn't leave my tape deck. I mean, and I also feel like it kind of went with the environment I was in. I grew up in Brooklyn. I was taking the train, so throwing that on the headphones while you're riding the train in New York, it's just that same atmosphere, So all of that kind of made it special for me. The thing, getting back to the Stove God Cooks, I mean, I think it's a fantastic album. I just wonder, why I'm not so quick to rush to call it a classic. Is I wonder, what kind of new ground is it breaking? Because, I don't feel like he's doing anything that anyone else didn't do before him, right?
Right.
You got Rock Marciano on the production. He's talking coke raps. He's doing it slick, but we have guys like Pusha T and Benny the Butcher who, is just, as slick. Obviously they have, they have different ways the little things that they add on to it, their own little flavor to it. I guess is the best way to say it. But
I mean, I know for me, and I think it comes down to, like we always say, we all have different attributes to what makes something an MC or our favorites. So for me, a classic doesn't have to be groundbreaking, because you're absolutely right. I don't think Daytona or Tana Talk 3 were anything groundbreaking. You know what I mean? But for me, it's just like what speaks to me. Like, here's the thing with coke rap. That's why I love Pusha. Pusha been selling drugs for 20 years, and this nigga finds a new way to do it every year. It's totally, I don't know how he does it. And it's the same thing with Stove God Cooks. This fool said, what he say? I'm the light-skinned bass runner. I'm Derek Jeter. Like, it's just like the fact that you can come up with slick new ways to do something that's been done over and over again for me. And again, it's different things for different people. Ev loves MOP, but MOP's always yelling at you. But then at the same token, Ev may be like, oh, I didn't like Onyx because they was yelling at people. So, it may not add up like 1 + 1 = 2, because 1 minute Ev is like, I don't like Onyx, they yell too much, but I love MOP. Somebody's gonna be like, nigga, how does that work? They yell too. You know what I mean? It's almost like, I always tell people, you give an excuse to somebody. Like back in the day, it'd be like BET or something, to be naked women on stage. And my wife be like, look at all these naked hoes on stage. But then Beyonce come out naked, Beyonce get a pass. Like Beyonce just, So I feel like all our favorite rappers, to some extent, or at least one person, gets that pass. You can say, yo, I hate coke rap. It's disgusting. I hate it. But man, I love Pusha T. You know what I mean? And I think too, with Stove God Cooks, kind of like I always say all the time, y'all know me, I work in the hood every day. You know what I mean? So the same way you were saying with Jizza, that's your soundtrack. It's like, nigga, I'm talking to crackheads every day. So Stove Guy Cooks is like, again, I always tell people, if I worked on Wall Street, I may not like Griselda as much as I do. You know what I mean? And same for you. Maybe if you was in the suburbs in Syracuse growing up, getting, carpooled to work every day, Jizza may have not spoken to you like that. But like you said, you in Brooklyn, right. You're on the train, it's your environment. So all those things. But tell me this, Jace, give me an album, because I feel like in the 90s, again, I don't know when that word classic became it, because I know when, The Shining came out, I remember buying that over the break, and I was in Philly before I went back to Morgan. It was just a feeling, like, and again, I probably didn't call nobody or call Jace on the ride back like, yo, this is a classic, but I know we had to be like, yo, this is crazy, or End of the Stage, or Midnight Marauders, or, Return of the Boom Bap. Like, all those albums were incredible. But Jace, give me an album from the 90s, like that you just knew. That you knew, like almost like we're only built for Cuban links. I just remember being on Morgan's campus and that Purple Tape came out and everybody was playing it. Everybody was like, it was the shit. There was no disagreement, And again, Jace, do you remember what did we call stuff? Like when the Purple Tape came out, were we like,
nah, like that shit is dope. Like,
yeah,
that classic shit, that shit came from the media. That came from like Source 5 mic like page and all that type of shit. Like, motherfuckers didn't care about that until then. Like, and it's like after that period, like after that shit started, labels started seeking that. Like, oh, we gotta have certain amount of mics and all that bullshit. Like, right. I blame Dave Mays.
Hey, I'm not mad at that, bro. Because like you said before that, it was just like, yo, this is dope. You walk across campus and you like, yo, yeah. And that was enough.
That was enough.
Yep.
Let me get over here to the chat rooms, man. My man, Kenneth has a question. Can something be a classic album if it has a lot of skits in it and you don't listen to the skits? So basically, Porsche is saying like Big Pun's Capital Punishment. Kind of like the question we had about why I hate skits, because I'm gonna skip them every time. Can you give something a classic title, even if it has a whole bunch of skits that you skip through?
Yes, De La Soul, 3 Feet High and Rising.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. I was about to say that.
Yeah.
All right, my man King Copa is saying he knew Illmatic was a classic within 3 months. I knew Jizza was dope the first week. I used to walk around campus with the CD in my back pocket. So yeah, maybe it's just Vern, I agree with you. Like you said, the word friend is what I'm teaching Naomi. Like, everybody who you hang out with ain't your friend. You know what I mean? You're gonna have some people maybe you just jump rope with, not jump rope. I'm old. These kids ain't doing no goddamn rope. You may just jump rope. Yeah, you may have some homegirls that's just in your dance class. You may have some homegirls over here that you just play violin with. But that word friend has to be taken lightly. You don't want to just be calling everybody your friend. So Vern, great point on that. And same thing with you, Jace, with the genius. Everybody, if I remember when Rock Marciano started not using drums, it was like, yo, this nigga's a genius. And I'm like sitting here like, yo, I was doing that shit 10 years ago and nobody liked it. Like, people was like, where's the drums? Now that Derringer does it and Rock Marcy does it, now that's all MCs want. So I do think it's what we throw around way too much. But Jace, give me an album from the 90s that you just knew from the door. Dope. Not even, we ain't got to even say the word classic, but just what would you say is your top album that you played throughout our time at Morgan in the 90s? Like, that you played
top album? Probably
like
shit. I was a weirdo. So like Outkast's first album. I was
always weird about that, sir.
Well, you gotta understand, we up north. We in Baltimore.
So my freshman year, like my girlfriend went to Spelman, my best friend went to Morehouse. So it was like my parents owned a travel agency, so every weekend I was out. So I would be down there and shit, either driving or flying. Like, I was in Atlanta, so I kind of soaked that up. And it was like, it wasn't like weird to me. Like, oh, all right, this shit is dope. Like, this they got some shit.
Yeah.
So yeah, like Outkast first. I forget the name of it.
No, Southern Playlist.
Yeah. Southern Playlist of Cadillac. Yep.
Yeah, it's funny because we was talking about that because I was saying I think Criminal Minded is the album I probably played the most out of life, like that I've just probably just run the most throughout life. But Rec, what about you? What album from the 90s would you say you played the most?
It's probably gonna be a tie. I got 2, Liquid Swords and Reasonable Doubt. I didn't really expect anything from the Reasonable Doubt album. I'm gonna tell you how I got it. So my homeboy, he used to he was like a mechanic, like the hood mechanic, and he used to put stereo systems in our whips. So one night, he's fixing my truck. He's like, "Yo, I got this CD, but I don't like it. You can have it." So straight up, he'll tell you himself. So I'm like, "All right, well, bet let's test the speakers with this CD. Put it in, doom doom, doom doom. And it's pain in the ass." He started talking, and I'm like, "The fuck is this?" And from the first joint, the only thing I don't like on there is 22 twos. And yeah, I just felt if I was gonna take a song off that album, it would be that. From a standpoint of how it sounds. Other than that, lyrics, he killed it. But sonically, beats, it just, for me, it didn't fit. But it was a surprise for me. It was a total surprise. Didn't even know it was out. Hey, here you go, take this album. Here you go. And then the Jizz's album, flawless to me. I listened to that album that whole summer going into my senior year of high school.
Wow. Yeah, it's funny with 22 twos. I think the reason why I like it is because I used to intern for Rap Sheets. Y'all probably don't remember Rap Sheets. It was
I remember
the hip hop newspaper. Yeah. And I was putting together a hip hop conference at Howard. I was like promoting it, and they had a priority listening party. So it was like Helter Skelter, Jay-Z, because Rockefeller was first on priority before it went to Def Jam, and Jay did 22 twos live. You know what I mean? And I think it was just that live feeling of seeing it and Jay spitting it like that. And keep in mind, again, I'm still coming from the Jay-Z. Like, I'm, you know what I mean? My man Roots put me on to the In My Lifetime joint. But, I wasn't, like you said, it was almost like I wasn't ready for the coke selling Jay-Z. Ed, what's the album of yours from the night? Is it Liquid Swords that you probably listen to the most?
Liquid Swords, and then I want to say the Infamous was up there too.
Okay, cool. And what about you, Vern?
A battle royale between Low End and Midnight Marauders.
Yeah, I could feel that. Yo, it's so funny, Ed, because when you said the Infamous, when that dropped, and again, is all hip hop to me is all about where you were going through. And like, I don't know why in '95 when the Infamous dropped, I was just like anti-violent for like a month. I don't know why. Nobody got shot, nobody died, but for like a month, I was like, yo, why do so many people got fucking die? Why do so many people get robbed? Like, what the, because I remember we was playing it at 88.9, and I was like, yo, Mike, turn that shit off, man. Niggas always shoot somebody, you know what I mean?
Now look at you, a cokehead rapper.
Right, now I'm a cokehead rapper. But during that time, we gonna say Jason? Oh, Jace, I thought you were gonna say something. No, but like during those times, then of course I got on to it and everything like that. So what do you think is the album that you have played the most? What's the hip hop album you played the most in your life? Your life. Like, what do you think is the album that you have played? And again, just off the top, I know for me it's Criminal Minded. I remember being in Brooklyn and just playing that. My moms would send me to Brooklyn every summer with like $200, and the first day I would blow that whole $200 at Beach Street in downtown Brooklyn. And the funny thing is, I just thought about this the other day. I probably started some beef between my mom and my aunt, because I'm sure my aunt was like, why does this motherfucker keep sending her son up here with no money? Because for the whole summer, I would be like, yo, I don't got no money. And she would have to buy me stuff. That's because I spent the whole $200. Literally, I'd get off the bus, go home, and I'd get my cousin take me to Beach Street, and I'd buy $200 worth of records, which is a lot of records in 1986. You know what I mean? But I just know for me, Criminal Minded probably had to get the most play out of anything that I could think of. What about you, Jace? What you think?
Most play, probably a tie between probably either Illmatic or Ready to Die. Oh well, no, not Ready to Die. 3 Feet High and Rising, that was 89, 88.
Yeah, it's 89.
So yeah, probably Illmatic and Ready to Die.
Illmatic and Ready to Die. If you could get rid of one song on Illmatic, what would it be?
None of them.
I mean, gun to head, you got to get rid of one. What is one song that if you got to get rid of?
Shit. Not let me see. Probably Whose World Is It?
Word?
Wow.
Wow. Most people always say One Time for Your Mind. Like anytime somebody says that, it's always like, man, that's the song I hated. One Time for Your Mind. So which one is better, the Tip remix or the original Pete Rock?
I like the Tip remix.
The Tip remix better. All right. It's so funny because with Omatic. No, I'm sorry. What were you gonna say?
Nah, I said like, cause to me that song is like sonically, like the way the album flows. That was kind of like the middle ground. Like it was like, all right, we just chilling out right now. Like we gonna get back to fucking killing somebody or robbing somebody in the next song. So we just gonna chill out for right now. Like nah, I need somebody dead on every song, and I need you running everything you got, and your man over there, he got to run it too. So, like that was like a little like siesta on the album.
That was the pause. That was the downside. It's funny because when Omatic dropped, I hated Life's a Bitch, man. I mean, I loved AZ's verse, but it was the fact that LES sampled Yearning for Your Love. You know what I mean? That it's like everybody else is digging. And it's like, yo, what's that? What's that? What's this? What's that? And then I'm like, this nigga done used the Gap Band. Like, yo, what the? How you just gonna use the Gap Band? And
nobody else was using it.
But here's the wild part. Now we can get into this later. I swear for God, people hate the track masters. You know what I mean? There's literally hate. And y'all know I hate that word hate. But people literally hate the track masters. Because I swear, if LES does it, it's dope. If the track masters do it, it's whack. If the track masters would have done Life's a Bitch, people would have had a problem with it. If the track masters did Sugar Hill by AZ, just looping Sugar Free, niggas would have had a problem with it. But when LES does it, it's all love. But neither here nor there. Brett, what is the album? What do you think is the album that you played the most throughout all the time?
That's a deep question, being that I DJ and listen to a lot of music.
And keep in mind, I'm talking about two different things. I'm talking about your personal taste, not you at a DJ.
I ain't talking about
people giving you requests.
I ain't talking about what's going on between these things right here. I'm talking about just shit. I would say either damn, I just had it. Return to the Boom Bap or Group Home's first album.
Okay.
One of those, either one of those two. If I'm going somewhere, if I got to leave out of the city for a minute and I'm riding and I want to hear something, I'm probably gonna start with one of those two albums.
All right, cool. My man over here, Speak Your Cloud podcast, is saying it was written with my favorite Nas joint, period. I've heard that a lot throughout life. What else is over here? People say the track masters started getting the hate because of the Firm album. They felt like they ruined the Firm. Speak Your Cloud saying One Time for Your Mind is the song he would get rid of off of Illmatic. Somebody said One Love. Frank said One Love, which is wow. But again, this is what I mean. Music speaks to us all differently. When I first heard One Love, I was like, yo, this is like some old exotic Q-tip type, and the drums was crazy. But again, it's all about what speaks to you. Ed, what about you? What is an album you think you played the most in life?
I think might be a tie between Midnight Marauders and Things Fall Apart.
Okay.
The funny thing is, there was a time, because obviously Midnight Marauders dropped in '93, and I love the album. It's just, I really, really got into like the whole Wu-Tang stuff, and then Mobb Deep. Like, so what y'all were talking, I think Jason was saying, I mean, let's get back to, the killing and all that. It's like, I was young, what I mean? Like, I was hanging with my cousins and my friends, just kind of felt like we were getting into mischief. So I kind of drew that way. But then as I matured, I started growing additional more appreciation for Midnight Marauders again, and then the roots, Things Fall Apart. So yeah, I haven't stopped playing them albums.
That's dope. Before I get to y'all for Vern and Sheem, my man Frank said Tip didn't do nothing with the sample for One Love, which is true. But here's my challenge to everybody: 90% of producers don't do anything with the sample. You know what I mean? And the reason why I say that is Jace knows my man Roots. Roots used to do this show up on my radio station before I started, where he would call it milk crates, where he would play the original sample, he would play who used it. You hear it automatically. So I mean, and I always challenge people. Give me, so Frank, in your comments, everybody in the comments, give me your top 5 songs, your top 5 favorite hip hop songs. I guarantee you 90% of the time, they're gonna be a straight loop. If you say, I know Portia's gonna say Troy, straight loop. Most people say Come Clean, straight loop. The majority of everything, hell, everything on Illmatic, probably outside of Represent, is a straight loop. You know, if I put on that Joe Chambers Mind Rain, you're gonna hear New York State of Mind immediately. So that's my only thing. I've never held that against a producer when they say like, "Oh, Tip didn't do nothing with the beat." Most producers don't do nothing with the beat, which is why Dilla and Preem are my 1s and 2s, because they're the ones who I can play you something and you won't even know what the hell they did to it. So that's my challenge. So everybody in the chat room, give me your top 5 hip hop songs. Vern, what about you? Album you played the most?
Got to be Low End Theory. Freshman year, Georgia State University, riding the MARTA train, my Walkman. I killed plenty of batteries. Listening to that, I can see myself walking in Sparks Hall right now, hearing Fife say, "I got more rhymes than the Winans got family." And then, you know, when I got my car, put that mug in there. I mean, it's a lot of stuff that I've listened to a lot, but I would say I've listened to that album more than any hip hop album ever.
That's dope. Funny thing about Walkmans, y'all remember when they finally invented auto reverse and you ain't have to flip the table over no more?
Yeah.
That was like the biggest invention in the world, to have auto reverse and not have to keep getting your tape out all the time. Shane, what about you?
Slim Walkman too.
Yeah, the little slim Walkman. Shane, what would you say is one of the albums you listened to the most in life?
Honestly, it's a tie between the Chronic and Donuts.
Okay.
Yeah. Two dope joints.
All right, no doubt. It's funny with the Chronic. I love the Chronic. I don't know why I never think of that as like I never rank it up there as high, but it's high. Like I don't know what it is. And I remember when it dropped in the intro, and I was just like with Snoop talking all that death row shit over impeach the president, and you know what I mean? Like, but I had no idea why I never put it right there. Also,
you know what, Phil? Real
that?
quick about the Chronic, because I think I mentioned on a different episode, I grew more appreciation for the Chronic living on the West Coast. You know, it's like certain environments, the music speaks to you like certain sound. Right. So a lot of, not only the Chronic, but a lot of West Coast hip hop albums, I grew more of appreciation for being out here.
Right. And it's funny you say that because I moved to Atlanta in 97 for a year in AT Aliens that came out. And like you said, being in Atlanta when that dropped, and like every car, and see, I always tell people I lived in Decatur. I ain't living fucking downtown Atlanta. I lived on Glenwood Road in Decatur. Like I was in Atlanta, and like every car wash, every car, every truck was playing ATL. So like you said, I probably wouldn't have that same. I would still love the album, but being in Atlanta when that came out, and you know, that was like everything at that point was Outkast. Like nothing can, you know, get past that feeling of it. We got over here in the chat room. So Portia's saying, "Come Clean," Troy, Shook Ones 2, Verbal Intercourse, and Elevators. All 5 are samples. Yeah. I don't know about Elevators. I don't know if there's. I don't know Elevators.
Elevators is me and you, right?
Yeah.
Stream, is that a loop? Do you know if Elevators is a loop? Shane.
I think a part of it is, but I forgot what part.
Okay. But I do know those top 5 are all loops. And again, this is what I was saying. There's nothing wrong with a loop. Like 9 times out of 10, literally. And again, people look at loops as 2 different things. I know people who define loops as what Rock Marcy does, where you're not adding drums. And then some people loop at it like what I'm saying would Come Clean. What I mean by it's a loop is that the producer didn't do anything to the sample. The producer heard 5 seconds and he took the 5 seconds and put drums around it. So that's
not to cut you, Kel. Primo made a career out of that.
Yeah, I mean,
he's the king of that.
He's the king of looping, but he can dig too. He does do his chop game. The chop game is crazy too. But again, if you probably give me your top 5 Primo joints, 90% of the time, it's still gonna be a straight loop. Jace, you remember when we was at Morgan and Come Clean came out? And it was the rumor that he sampled it from water pipes dripping, and it was crazy, like urban legends about Come Clean, you know. And then to find out that it's Shelly Manne, who's a jazz drummer. Like to this day, I want to ask Shelly Manne, like, nigga, why you got water drops on your album? You know what I mean?
Right.
But what Primo did with that is crazy. So that's just what I mean by that. My man Speaking Cloud saying I get physical. That is a straight loop. I used to love her. Straight loop. Like, I mean, seriously, y'all. So, you know, back to my man Frank. Again, Tip didn't do anything with it, but I don't think really anybody did anything outside of Represent with Primo doing. And that's not even, that's a loop too. Because that's like I forgot what that's like from some soundtrack. It was hard to find for years, but even Represent is a loop. So it's just all about what y'all find. Tell me this. So Teddy Riley and Babyface was about to battle. I was hyped. They call off the battle. And from what I hear, it's because Teddy wants that bag. Teddy wants people to pay $10 a pop to hear the battle. You know what I mean? Now,
fuck y'all here, Teddy.
So here's the thing. Obviously, Ted didn't get the memo that this is for the culture. You know what I mean? Like, this is for the
motherfuckers is bored and you don't have nothing else to do. Like,
right. Like this is for the culture.
Fuck them kids.
They said, "Fuck you, but fuck that disease, man. I want my money."
While I'm drinking my beer.
Right. You know, I don't care nothing about no Corona, whatever. Now, here's the thing. I want to know from y'all point. I know we all hip hop heads. Prayerfully, y'all. I mean, hell, you can't be our age and not know Teddy and Face's catalog. I think Teddy Riley wipes the floor with Babyface. I think this is a knockout, sweep. This ain't even close. And that's no disrespect to Face because I love Face, but I think Face's his gold is his pen game, not his production game. Like, I think Face would do better in a battle like how Neo and Jonte Austin was going back and forth about the songs they had written versus the actual beats. Because people were like, oh, but he did the Wait and Excel soundtrack. Man, nigga, ain't nobody listening to them words where after Teddy Riley play I Wanna. You know what I mean? Ain't nobody, you know, when that nigga play Remember the Times, that nigga can't play End of the Road. Like, people gonna be like, yo, what the hell? Like, so what do you all think? Vern, ATLian, I know you're
come to me second. Come to
you say, oh, you over there doing homework. All right, Shane, you tell me, man. Babyface, Teddy Riley. My thing with Ted, I only think the only person who could give him some competition is Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. Because I honestly think Ted invented a whole genre. This nigga invented a genre of music. Like, there was no New Jack Swing before Ted. This nigga invented a genre. Y'all better find somebody who has invented a genre to really go back to back with this dude. And again, it's not like Ted don't got banging ass slow jams. Before I Let You Go, Let's Chill. You know, Ted got some slow jams in the tuck too. But Shane, who do you got, Babyface or Teddy Riley in a battle? Shane.
Kill, he was chopping up.
I said, who you got in a battle, Teddy Riley or Babyface? Sheen stuck. Rec, what about you? Who you got?
Between Babyface and Teddy?
Yeah. No, all right. You got it, Rec.
Man, I don't think that there's a I don't think that's a question, man. Teddy Riley, you said it. Who how can you go against somebody who created a whole genre of music for the same amount of time that the other artist was out and had people on the dance floor, and then after the dance floor, you go home and you're gonna fuck to his music too. Teddy Riley, man, is unsung. He does not get the appreciation he should. But for $10, fam, miss me with that shit.
All right, main man over here said Teddy wants $10. He better set up a stage in his living room and perform them boys. Here's the funny thing. If you go to TeddyRileyLive.com and put us onto it, he does a whole stage show in his living room for free. So what if you go on TeddyRileyLive.com, he got I don't know, this ain't the original Blackstreet, but he got some niggas in there singing Blackstreet songs. You know, because Teddy is infamous for kicking a nigga out the group because the nigga on the cover of the guy, the nigga on the cover of the guy album is not Damien Hall. So Timmy Gatlin. So by the time between the album coming out and the album cover, he done kick somebody out the group. Got the cousin to come back. Then Dave Hollister ain't in the group on the second album. So Teddy is infamous for getting y'all up out of here. So main man 365, go to TeddyRileyLive.com and he does that for free. My wife was saying he probably saw how many people tuned in for that and was like, yo, I'm gonna try to get the bag off of this because my other man Jay sent me the other day and was like, yo, I wouldn't be shocked if Netflix tries to pick this up, or if like a Prime tries to pick this up. Because when I went to, there's another Timberland Swiss battle that I didn't see, where they're like in their houses, like Swiss is in his garage and Timbo. This ain't no Instagram thing. And when I brought it up on YouTube, it was like Machine Masters, like Native Instruments Machine.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, was they behind the battle? Like, so I think with the numbers that people are doing on IG, because I really think that Face and Teddy Riley battle, that may have shut down Instagram, like on no bullshit, like for real. Could have shut down. It's gonna go across
age. Age has no plan that everybody checking for that joint.
Right. You know, my pop may be tuning in to hear some Babyface stuff. So I think Teddy just was like, you know what? Let me get the bag off of this. So I don't know. But Ed, who do you Vern, you wanted up next. Who do you think, Face or Teddy Riley? And we're talking about song, like hit songs. That's how we're judging this. Hit songs.
Production. So when you differentiate it like that, yes, Teddy's production outshines Babyface. But if we talk about pen,
oh yeah. No. Two totally different.
Yeah, Face is a beast. And hey Theodore, listen, bro. If
this nigga called him Theodore. I'm like, who Theodore?
You too. I'm like, who are you talking to?
Yeah. Hey, man, find out, Rack. I done known you for 5 years and your name Theodore. I had no idea what your name was.
If you do the beat battle, you're gonna get ears of a whole bunch of people who have never bought your stuff, and they're gonna download your records, and you're gonna get the bag. We ain't giving you $10, dog. Forget it.
Right.
I don't know, man. I think people would. I mean, I don't think I would, but that's because, like, for me, like, it's why I don't do the D Nice. I don't do all that DJs stuff people on Instagram because I already got all the songs.
Live, man.
Like I got all the songs. I know I'm a minority. I know the average person doesn't have all the songs D Nice is playing on his hard drive.
But we got 20 songs that Teddy and Babyface are playing, and we can make our own playlist. You know,
I mean, right. I mean, I think for a lot of people, it's like the hype of seeing them. You know what I mean? Like, you know, you don't know what's going to come next. So again, I'm not paying for it, but I also know I'm the minority in that, you know, I'm not necessarily bored at home. Y'all know we got the podcast. I got beats. I'm not bored. But if I'm sitting home bored and I'm like $10, hell, I spend $12 to go to the movies to see a whack movie I probably wouldn't like. You know, what the hell? Again, I'm not. But Jace, what about you? Teddy Riley or Babyface? Who you got?
I got Teddy Riley because I'm a hip hop head. So Teddy Riley got hip hop music, you know, parts of it. I mean, he just show and shit. So.
Yeah, he said parts of it.
I got Teddy Riley.
And the funny thing is because everybody I talk to says something different. Like one person be like, yo, when he throws on Remember the Times, it's over. Then I talk to somebody else and they be like, yo, when he throws on Rump Shaker, oh, this over. Oh, when he throws on No Diggity, like, and that's crazy when you got different people from different age groups telling you when he throws on this song, it's not the same song. It's a different song every time. And you like, oh, yeah, when he throw on Rump Shaker, niggas gonna lose their mind. You know what I mean? Like
he can't throw on Rump Shaker, can he?
Why? Why you say that?
He didn't do Rump Shaker.
He ain't do Rump
Shaker.
Whoa. Pharrell did that?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, man, see, and that's
Chronicles Part 3. We learned something again today.
I remember hearing about that. That's true.
I remember that. I remember. And the only reason
he goes produce that joint.
And it's wild because the only reason why I said that was because I was watching some of the live show he had, and he threw on Rump Shaker. Me and T, when it was
I mean, it was his crew. Like they were on his like it was his little brother and like a couple other dudes. So he technically can, but he can't. You know what I mean?
Right. Wow, that's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
That's kind of like how Storch was throwing. Like, bro, hold on, man. You played.
Well, here's the thing I say. Please
don't start talking about him.
You don't like Storch?
You know we sued him over the Exhibit record, right?
Nah, I ain't know that.
Yeah. I mean, not Exhibit. On the Chronicles, somebody else sued him over Exhibit. We sued him over the Mary J. Blige record.
Which one?
What was the shit? I forget. You know, I don't know names of songs, but let's get it popping.
Oh, okay.
Family.
Producer I managed, LB 2000, my man Robbie and shit. he used to engineer for the Roots. You know, Scott Storch was in the Roots, so this was
Right.
after Scott Storch left. So you know, the Roots, they record their whole session. Like they don't stop the tape. Like this is back when they had tape. They would just record everything. So this nigga's in there, like, I guess they took a break. They went to go do something. So my man was doing some edits or whatever. He was just playing some shit. And Scott Storch came in the studio, was like, yo, what you working on or whatever. So he played him just some beats that he had or whatever. Scott Storch got like a photographic memory. Like this motherfucker, like, I don't even think he can read music. But he just like, he knows tones and all that kind of shit. He just played the shit out. Played the shit for Dr. Dre. You know, like Dr. Dre wasn't doing half that shit. Scott Storch was doing it. So Scott Storch is supplying Dre with shit that he stole from a bunch of other motherfuckers.
Wow.
Man.
Being in the studio, just hearing shit, be like, oh, all right, I'm gonna use that.
Wow.
Those
That's
motherfucker
crazy.
had like 6 or 7 different lawsuits for records that motherfuckers
Crackhead
had put
shit,
out.
man.
How
under
did
Dr. Dre.
now I've always wondered how did that lawsuit pan out? Like, you know, is that something that gets thrown out of court? Because you always hear somebody saying, "Oh, Timbaland stole my beat, Dre stole my beat, so and so stole my beat." But I've always wondered when you sue them, does it ever work out? The only time I've ever even heard of that was, I guess, like the Pharrell Marvin Gaye joint, where kind of the judge favored for Marvin.
Right.
But how did it fare out for you or your producer?
Well, I mean, we ended up dropping it because like the producer ended up getting locked up and we couldn't find
Oh,
him
okay.
for,
Well,
like,
there you go. Okay, cool.
so they were about to be like,
Well,
they were about to just be like, yo, here, we just give y'all some money or whatever. Lawyers was talking or whatever. Shit was in motion and dude couldn't sign off.
Okay.
So
All right.
I didn't have paperwork to sign off for him. So
All right. And my man said over here, man, when Face goes on every little step, it's over. I don't know if it's over. And keep in mind, because people on the timeline yesterday thought I was shitting on Face. I love Face, but I just don't think he's, when it comes to production. Now, if you talk like Vern said, we talking pen game, I don't even know if Teddy wrote anything. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm saying I would rather see Babyface and a songwriter, him and Neo going back and forth, or him and Jonte Austin, or I don't know who else, Sean Garrett, who writes for Beyonce. Like, I feel like that's who Babyface needs to be with, but not an actual beat battle. Sheem, who you got, Babyface and Teddy Riley?
I'm gonna have to go with, you know what? I'm gonna have to go with Teddy.
Okay.
Just
All
off
right.
the strength of
You scared me for a minute.
Guy
Oh,
and Q Sweat.
okay.
Just off the strength of Guy, Teddy Riley, Heavy D.
People forget he
Michael.
now that I found love.
So
Man, that was my banger, man. Dougie
Yeah.
Fresh, you know.
And we got our own thing.
Yeah.
We got our own thing. The
Now
show.
don't get me wrong. Teddy got some joints too now.
You mean Face?
I mean, Babyface got some joints too now. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
That boy
Face got some
stuff.
He
so-
got some. I made a mixtape of up-tempo Babyface joints just to show people he just ain't all slow jams. But after 7, you know, is not messing with Remember the Time. You know, like, you know,
right.
Mercedes Boy is not messing with, you know, Queen Pin on No Diggity. You know what I mean? So yeah, you remember Pebbles? He had the Mercedes
Wow.
joint. You know what I mean?
Do you
So
want to
Face
ride in my Mercedes boy?
Face has some up-tempo bangers, but he's just known for slow jams. Like, I'd rather see him go. Who's a good slow jam person who's known for their slow jams? Like, that's who I want to see Face go up against. Like, somebody who just got an ill pin game with slow jams.
You know what?
What's up?
There's someone who's canceled who would be a good match.
You're right. You're right. You're absolutely right. And nobody wants to say his name. Like, everybody, nobody wants to
You're not
say
saying his name now?
No. Niggas is like, that nigga's like Candyman right now. Like, if you say that nigga name, like, you wake up in the morning and your daughter gone. So
Oh,
nobody.
Black Epstein. That's his new nickname. Black Epstein. We call him Black Epstein.
We do the artist formerly known as. I'm not even playing with Naomi Missing in the morning, so we don't say his name. But yes, that artist could go toe to toe with Face, and have some bangers. Kenneth brought up Teddy Riley's "I Get the Job Done" with Kane. I'm not gonna hold you. I hated that joke. I liked it, but I hated it because it wasn't.
Yeah, it wasn't
was
Kane.
That was the
Right.
transition of now we're going pop. My man Frank brought up "How You Like Me Now" with Kool Mo D. Like, that's the thing with Teddy. There's so much stuff. He actually did one of my favorite songs, "Rap's New Generation" by the Classical 2. A lot of people don't even remember that joint. It's like rap's new generation.
Damn, Kill, you old, Kill. God damn,
yeah, I'm old, man. But the classical 2, rap's new generation. When I found out Teddy did that, I was like, damn, this dude done had his hand in How You Like Me Now, Johnny Gill, Rub You the Right Way. Like, there's so many bangers.
I gotta check that classical 2. I've
never
heard that joint.
Just got paid.
Yeah, the Johnny Kemp, and that was another joint. They was like, when he thought Just Got Paid, it's a rap. Like, so that's the thing. Yeah. But outside Candyman, who else has an ill R&B? Who else has an ill R&B that could compete with Face?
Nobody can mess with Face. Nobody.
Well, I mean,
it's too expensive.
Nobody.
Yeah. It's too expensive, man.
So we talking slow jams or just R&B?
R&B. I mean, brother. Think about everybody.
I agree with you, Vern. I don't see nobody taking them. I'm just saying who would be a good battle then for Babyface? Since it's not against Teddy Riley, who would be a good battle?
I would say Sean Garrett.
Sean Garrett would be. He would get blown. I mean, if there's somebody out there who have a better pen than Sean Garrett.
I mean, Diane. You talking about Diane Warren?
Brian Michael Cox.
Yeah, Jonte Austin.
Yeah, Jonte Austin got crazy banging.
People thought Neo was gonna blow him out, and people don't know when he's written.
Jonte got Neo. Yeah. When
he throwing that sweet lady, like that was like that was it right there. Frank is talking about. I forgot. You got Redhead Kingpin that Teddy was doing stuff for too.
Yeah, do the right thing.
Yeah, you got Teddy doing that stuff. All right, so tell me this: Kanye versus Pharrell. I think it will be a good battle. Hear me out. Just because they both have big songs in each genre. So they literally could go every other song. We're gonna do hip hop. So maybe, Pharrell throws on the Jay-Z, I Just Wanna Love You. Ye could throw on the Takeover. Then we could do every other song. We're gonna do R&B. Ye could throw on Alicia Keys, You Don't Know My Name. Pharrell could throw on some R&B. Because I felt like the Scott Storch Manny Fresh, it was like Manny's hitting you with all hip hop, and then Scott will throw some, Justin Timberlake on, like, and it kind of ruined the mood almost.
Right.
What you think, Brian?
Can we give Mr. Chad Hugo some love, bro?
Yeah.
Because it's the Neptunes. It ain't just for real. You know what I mean?
Right. Nah, you're right. You're 100% right. You're right.
Yeah.
Is the TV on in your room, Brett? Can you turn it down?
Yeah, I muted myself. You good?
All right. What you saying, Vern?
No, I'm just I think the Neptunes have a wider reach than Kanye does. I mean, it'll be a dope battle because I ain't listened to that dude after the third album, but he has a nice catalog of hits, even though he didn't do man
Down and Out.
Cameron joint,
that's the one that hurt me. Like that was the thing. And it's funny. I'm glad you said that, bro. Let me write that down because one of the things I was saying about Scott Storch is that I would need to know from somebody who was actually in the studio. And I guess Jace, forget about what you just said because this was my thought of Scott Storch before you just said what you said. So this is before that.
I mean, not to discredit. I mean, I don't fuck him because of personal reasons, but he's done some dope shit. So
right, but when people were like, "Oh no, he just played keys on that," and I said, unless you were in the studio, not your cousins, baby moms, weed man's baby father was in the studio. Like, unless you were in the studio, because here's the thing: I've been in situations with A-list producers. I play a beat, they add some stuff to it, and I'm like, "Yo, I don't mind co-production credit because you're the A-list producer. Like, of course, it's gonna say your name." But then when the A-list producer comes out and drops it and my name ain't nowhere on it, it's like, damn, you know what I mean? So I understand that even if Scott Storch did do Still Dre, you can't have Dr. Dre's comeback single be produced by a white boy who nobody's ever heard of. It needs to say produced by Dr. Dre. It can't say produced by Scott Storch because it's the same reason we buy Polo or Jordans or New Era hats. Like, it's a name. So the name is more important than who actually did it. So that, and then again, now hearing Jason's story, I that's cool that that's cool, but I get it if that Scott Storch be stealing people's stuff because damn near probably 80% of the industry be stealing people's stuff. But that's my only take when like people were like, oh, he only paid keys on that Eve or he only did this. It's like, what are we basing that off of? If we're basing that off of the liner notes, well, I can guarantee you Dre is not going to say produced by Scott Storch. I've seen producers who want to give their young boys credit. And the label is like, no, we can't because we need. That's what Kanye was saying. Kanye admitted he didn't do Down and Out, that his young boy producer did it. But by him being on the chorus, by Kanye's name being so big, Cameron's label was like, no, we need this to say produced by Kanye West. You know what I mean? Because we're a name society. I guarantee you people would not have the same love for Down and Out if it said produced by, I think his name was like Brian Miller. You know what I mean? That it does, that people did if it said produced by Kanye West. Like there was a time, I know he crazy now and he's up there with Candyman. Most people, I still say his name. I don't care if you like Trump. I mean, I disagree with you, you know, but that's just that. Like, you know, but
Trump. God,
yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, I know black folk who are like, yo, I've cut off my cousins because they rock with Trump. I'm not cutting my cousin off because he rock with Trump. I just probably won't talk to you about politics, but I'm not gonna dead you because you go for somebody else or whatever. But Ye, there was a time Ye Walking the Planet was the dopest producer. For a good 3-year run, Kanye was probably the go-to producer. And the thing that people don't know about Ye, I've got a Best of Ye mixtape with just all R&B stuff. That shit he did with Keisha Cole, with Brandy, like, yo, he's got R&B bangers. So that was the only reason why I was saying, like, him and Pharrell could probably, you know, and I still got, and I apologize for that. What did Chad do? What did Chad do? And this is the problem with Chad. Chad, you need to do something because the problem is you haven't done anything since y'all broke up. So this is why we all say Pharrell, because we're like, well, where's the fall off? Like, what you was making this with Chad. I actually prefer stuff you make without Chad. So I think that's why Chad kind of gets, you know, the bad rap or doesn't get a name said, because it's like, it's not like we saw a dip in production. Like, oh, damn, man, you miss Chad. Like, I actually probably like Pharrell's solo stuff more than I like this stuff with Chad. So Chad, do something so then we can mention your name again. Like, I think that's the
thing. From what I heard, this motherfucker, like, he got married early in the game. So he's like a family man. Like, he just want to go in the studio, do the work or whatever, get the money and go home. Like, he's not like, I mean, was he on tour when NERD was like on tour the last time? Like,
I don't think so. But see, the great thing is, but the great thing is that's even doper. You could go to studio, do the beat, and leave. Like, but that's the problem. Like, I didn't see a dip off in the Neptune with Pharrell's sound when it wasn't like the stuff that he was doing for Justin. To me, I'm good with that. You know what I mean? Like the Justified album. So I'm good with that. What about you, Vern? Did you feel like there was because I always hear people say, like, yo, y'all gotta stop forgetting Chad. But I'm always like, why? Like, why do we gotta forget him? I mean, why can't we forget him?
I just said it, and then and after you made your point, I don't disagree with you, sir. If I think about it,
because it's not you. Everybody be like, yo, y'all gotta put some respect on Chad's name, and I'm like, but why? Why are we putting respect on Chad's name? So
I'm one of those people, Kill.
All right, so tell me, what did Chad do? Like, this is back to Ali Shaheed. Like, what did Ali Shaheed Muhammad do for 100 years of Tribe? Because if Tip was making the beats, digging up the beats, Tip was doing everything. What did Ali Shaheed Muhammad do? Now, I know now he plays instruments, so I'm not talking about stuff he's doing with Adrian Young. But, like, up until Lucy Pearl, what did Ali Shaheed Muhammad do for anybody? And anytime I ask that on Twitter, people be sending me Wikipedia links with the stuff that he co-produced and all of that. But tell me, what did Chad do with the Neptunes?
You know what? It's not so much what he did. It's more so, I would have to say his instrumentation, and you know, him playing whatever Pharrell didn't play.
Okay.
So, and I had this argument with a lot of people. I think that Chad is the talented one of the Neptunes.
You think Chad is more talented than Pharrell?
Yes.
So why is it? So
now, wait. Let me run this back. Let me run it back. Now, don't get me wrong. Pharrell has a nice pen game, and he can produce. But that's not taking any away from Chad, because Chad is nice in his own.
Hold tight for a second. Portia just chimed in and said Hugo plays the sax. I've never heard the sax on a Neptune song. So if that's true, Like this is like Bird saying he played the trombone. Like, okay, Hugo plays the sax, but I've never heard a sax line on like this is not like them old 80s songs like from like The Heat Is On from Beverly Hills Cop when you always had that sax line. I call it the Saturday Night Live intro when you hear the sax player. Like I've never heard a sax solo on a Neptune joint. But what were you saying, Shane?
That's funny.
But Chad do beats?
I don't know. You tell me. You say he's more talented. I don't know what Chad does. I'm thinking Chad is the errand boy at this point.
Oh wow.
I'm just saying, peak game. All those years, we thought Ali Shaheed Muhammad was making the beats because in that time it was just the DJ. You just assumed they made the beats. You know what I mean?
Right.
Then you start hearing Tip, Gangsta Bitch. The World Is Yours, Crooklyn Dodgers, and then I start hearing the solo stuff that Ali was producing, and then I was like. No, Tip did all the beats. Like I didn't need a documentary to tell me that. I didn't need that, which then makes you say, if we were doing something, I just feel like, Shim, if me and you are a production duo and we're doing something together and we break up, then I would think, and just a bad assumption, I would think something would change with my production if you were bringing something. Like
right.
if you were the digger and I was the technical person and we broke up, well then 9 times out of 10 I may not find those ill samples because that was your forte. You know what I mean? Or if you try to go out and do it, somebody may say, oh, the drums don't sound programmed as well. And then you could say, oh, well, that was Kill's forte. I just don't know what Chad did since Pharrell has just, been off to the races without him. I don't know what he did. He played the sax. Like, I feel like, you know what? When Porsche put that, all I heard was Dizzy Gillespie plays the sax. That's all I heard in my mind from Nice.
He plays...
I know he plays the trumpet.
He plays guitar too.
It was a hip hop fuck up, but Dizzy Gillespie plays the sax. That's when Porsche said. It's like, all right, Porsche says like Pharrell brings the groceries of ingredients of what he wants to make, and Hugo is telling him how to put it all together. My only thing is, how is Pharrell? Because the Neptunes have had to been broke up for 10 years minimum, and Pharrell has had a slew of hits in those 10 years. So maybe that's what it was. And you know what? Maybe Pharrell did what I always question why Guru and CL Smooth and other people like that never did. If you're in the studio with Pete Rock every day, how don't you know how to make beats, CL? Like being next to Pete Rock, you should be able to be making the same kind of beat. Same thing with Guru. I get it. Like you may not be able to make the same because, of their talent and their air and what they hear. But if you've been in the studio with with Pete and Primo for 10 years, my nigga, you got to know how to use the SP12. You know what I mean? So maybe Porsche is right. Maybe Porsche is like he used to bring the groceries, but then Pharrell learned how to go buy his own groceries. He was like, okay, I see what this nigga does. You get the cart, you go down the aisle, you put stuff in the cart, and then you check out. Like that nigga saw it, and he was like, bet. And he learned, and maybe that's what Pharrell did. So maybe Chad did bring something. I just would love for Chad to do something on his own, just so that he could get the respect that he deserves, if that's the case.
Chad coming for it.
Chad coming for it, man. He need to come for that bag. I don't know. I mean, I know the royalties check must be good, but if you got a family, brother, man, I'm always looking for a bag. Didn't Guru make the beats on those Jazzmatazz projects? That's a good question. Jace, you know about that?
On Jazzmatazz?
Yeah, I'm looking for the album right now. Jazzmatazz.
Nah, I don't think he produced anything. I thought it was all like
Solar, right?
That was like he
no,
was one of the people.
Was it the
like
first
all
one?
like live instrumentation. That wasn't like samples and stuff like that.
Right.
I mean, they might have like had something live in the studio, sampled it, and then like did whatever with it. But
I know on this
that was all live.
I know on the second album he had more production because Scratch did something. No, Scratch, that was on Jazzmatazz 3. He lost me after Jazzmatazz 2. So on Jazzmatazz 3, I know
Jazzmatazz 3. So.
Man, there's a Jazzmatazz 5, nigga. Like he kept going. Like so Jazzmatazz 3, his lead single was with Angie Stone, and that was produced by Scratch. Jazzmatazz 2, the lead single was Watch What You Say, which was produced by Premier. So I want to say I don't know all together. CL is a fitness instructor on IG. All he posts is him lifting weights. Yo, this is why I love the chat room. I had no idea that CL Smooth was a fitness instructor.
Wow.
He doesn't look that fit to me, so I don't know. I All right. Yeah. I'm totally low. I'm about to be a fitness instructor right now. If we get down like that. All right. So we don't have nobody for. But who would you have in the Pharrell Kanye battle? Vern, I know you got Pharrell. Eddie, who you got?
Man, Pharrell Kanye. Damn. It's tough, man. You know what? I think just if it is just them playing beats, I kind of feel like I will give an edge to Kanye. You know why? Because he's gonna make it a spectacle.
You're right.
You know?
He's gonna be dancing. It's gonna be a show. It's gonna be a show.
And that leads me to my next point that I was gonna bring up is they need to do more. They need to do more with these things. Like I don't want to hear them playing beats. I don't want to hear them just playing songs that I could pull up on whatever streaming platforms. You know, if they got a band in there, if they got like someone on an instrument, or you know, at least you know if they had the samples and you know freak the samples and build it up into the joint, something like that. But make it more interesting.
No, I agree with you 100% because I'm like I'm bored. You know what I mean? I'm like, yo, and this is the thing, and I'll send a link. They had that my man sent to me. It was the Timbaland and another Swiss battle. This is why I'm saying that they were like in their houses. Like Timbaland is in his crib and they're playing new beats. They're playing beats nobody heard before. And I was like, this is what I want to hear. You know, like Swiss is in this nigga garage is crazy. And they got like 10 cars lined up, got the machine set up, you know, sun sitting over to the side, you know, and they're just playing all new beats. And I'm like, that's more interesting than you just like, I know you're going to play X next, so I know you're going to come with that Kiss joint, you know, whatever like that. So I agree. Or even if you tell me this is like, yo, this is Come Clean, and then tell me how you made it. Like, tell me like, yo, Guru had just came in, he had a fight. Like just hearing the whole story just to get a rep to me is crazy. Like, yo, damn, like this was a true story. Like I would love to hear that stuff. And then you play the beat, then you just know, because you know if it's Pete versus Premier, you know at the end of the night, you know what you're gonna hear. You know you're gonna hear Troy, and so it just gets boring and monotonous after a while to me. So I totally agree that I would love to either see the way Timbaland and them did it, or giving Pete and Premier their own sample, giving them the same sample, and then seeing how they freak it differently. You know what I mean? Like even if even if they don't do it on the spot, even if it's just like, yo, here are 5 samples. Y'all take them samples and then they play back what they heard, something like that. I think that would be dope. Right? What about you, Kanye or Pharrell?
I'm going with Pharrell, man. I think Pharrell's tenure lasts a little bit longer. I think he got more to pull from than Ye. Not by a whole lot, but I just think he got more out the bag to pull from, man. Like Pharrell or the Neptunes, however you want to categorize it. That dude is a beast, man. You can go from Rum Shaker to Happy.
Right. My man Frank says he wants to see them do like A-Rab music, play the samples live. Frank, that's an art all into itself. That finger drumming stuff. Don't ask me to do that because I'll be tripping all over these pads. I don't know. That's some amazing stuff that they do. I do not finger drum. I don't even know how that shit became a sport and beat Olympics. It just one day somebody started it. And next day, everybody was doing finger drumming. The nigga Stro Elliott, who's in the Roots now, he be doing that.
Stro Elliott.
And Stro is crazy. Stro is
insane.
crazy. But the thing about Stro and even A-Rab music that I didn't really rock with A-Rab music until his last Joe Budden album, because to me, they were like them and one ball players. Like y'all niggas is ill on the playground. Y'all doing tricks. Y'all doing all these tricks. But it can't make a good beat to save your life. Like I've never heard a Stro Elliott beat that I'm like, ooh, this is nasty.
Really?
I see him playing stuff live, and I'm like, yo, that looks dope. But if it just says produced by Stro Elliott, I'm never like.
So you haven't checked. You haven't checked his album.
He's a producer. I didn't know he was a producer.
Yeah, he's a producer. Yeah,
I've never heard nothing from that guy.
So I've heard a couple of things that said produced by Stro Elliott, and I was like, okay.
I send you his album tonight.
Yeah,
I sent it tonight.
Chase, who you got? Pharrell or
Pharrell? Pharrell did Happy.
Yeah. Yo, you know the funny
got nothing like that.
Yo, the funny thing about Happy, man, is just that showed me how bad the game is when he said the streaming money he got from that was like something like $5,000 or something like, and Happy was like the streaming money that he got was something. It was something. I mean, just Google like Happy and streaming money. Like it was the check was nowhere where you thought it would have been because Happy was everywhere. Happy was anywhere that you could think of. Happy.
I mean, streaming wasn't.
I could have gave him 5 racks for that.
Right? Yeah,
What'd you say?
Streaming wasn't really like that then when Happy came out. Like streaming was just starting out.
And see, I thought it was
there was no Apple Music. It was iTunes and shit like that. So you know what I mean? It wasn't like everybody had to have it. Was no Tidal, was no Spotify and all that kind of stuff. So like,
they didn't have.
I thought they had figure it out.
I thought they had Apple Music because I want to say I thought Happy was an ad for Apple Music.
No, but
iTunes.
Oh, for iTunes. Okay.
Right.
Because remember they changed it over and it's like everybody was scared they was going to lose their iTunes library when it went to Apple Music and all that.
And here we go. Speak Your Cloud. Happy was trash. Porsche agreed. Happy was garbage. So Happy obviously speaks to people differently.
I got kids.
Obviously, Happy speaks to people differently.
Man,
What'd you say, Vern?
It spoke to me because I remember. It spoke to me because I remember that was right after the first housing crisis. Brother was down on his toes, and I remember he had.
He said, "I needed that."
Yeah, and he had this thing called 24 hours of Happy. It was a video just played.
Yeah,
a new video every time, and I remember for weeks on end, I played it in my office over and over and over and over. So yeah, it spoke to me. So. I know it wasn't hard, it wasn't on Belly, but I don't care. I rock with it.
He said they make the Belly soundtrack, Belly 2. And the funny thing is, I got Ye, man. And it's probably just off of preference. I prefer Ye's music to Pharrell's music. You know what I mean? But I think it would be a great battle because they could go back and forth because the stuff that Pharrell did for Jay, I was never a big fan of. But then again, I was never the club dude because I'm sure I Just Want to Love You. Like I always tell people, if you're in the club and women dancing, God forbid if you're in a strip club and you see naked women, anytime you hear, I Just Want to Love You, it's going to take you back to Diamond. So you just going to have, that's where it takes you. Where for me, it just takes me to listening to everybody playing on the radio. So I never really liked Change Clothes or, what else did he do? Like I never liked the Pharrell Jay-Z like link up the way everybody else.
You didn't like the joint off the American Gangster soundtrack?
It was cool, but again, it wasn't like my favorite. Like that would probably be one like my least favorite songs on. I mean, and again, not that they're bad, but if you tell me Lucifer, Encore,
Kanye,
if you tell me Lucifer, Encore, what else? Never Change. If you talk about the stuff that Kanye has done for Jay, I will take that over what Pharrell has done for Jay.
Agreed. I don't think Jay goes to Pharrell for that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But for me, it's more so about what Pharrell does for others, like the Neptunes. Not the Neptunes. I'm sorry, the Clips. The Clips. Yeah. That whole situation.
It's something about them. them. I don't know what it is.
He puts
if they
them.
Hold that nigga. If they hold that nigga kidnapped or
they do something.
Put a gun to his head. But
they put him in a room, and there's a big 6'8" dude standing there beating the brakes off of him. Like, nah, this ain't right. You need to fix these. Like, it's something. It's something.
I mean, I always say the funny thing about Pharrell, I give him I believe that oh God, where's their biggest hit? What's Push's biggest hit? The Clips.
We're talking about Grinding.
Those drums should be put in the Breakbeat Hall of Fame.
Yes.
And I've never said that about any other producer's drums, but when Grinding came out, I was working at an elementary school. The whole school would just be banging on the table. That right there.
You had to be in the hood. You was in the hood.
Yeah, I was in the hood. It was just that grinding beat to come out of Pharrell. I love that Pharrell can go into that bag. So, and from the story that I heard was that Pusha had said, "We ain't feeling your beats." He was in a hotel. He made Grinding, and then he called him like, "Yo, come in here. If you ain't in here, if you don't take this beat in the next 5 minutes, I'm giving it to Jay-Z." So prayerfully, it was just him in the hotel room, and nobody else was there to take credit for it. But I do love the fact that Pharrell can go in that bag.
Have you heard Family Rock and Roll?
Yeah, I know. I've heard of Family, but I never heard that song.
That song, when I heard that, I was like, okay, this motherfucker's a problem. Because I had never heard of Family, and it just comes on, and it's menacing. And I'm like, okay, yeah, it's real. This is not just a situation where we caught him in the right time. There's a whole nother situation with this. You know, the re-up gang. I mean, all of those little things you push off that don't nobody check for but us. For me,
damn, that's true. I forgot about grinding because when he goes on grinding, it's gonna
grinding the re-up gang, family, Slim Thug. I mean, he's got joints.
Yeah, you right.
Grinding comes on and he just loops that first 4 bars back and forth. What is Kanye gonna play after that?
Yeah, you're right. I totally forgot about the clip.
He could play Barry Bonds. Barry Bonds is a banger.
Yeah.
No, but Barry Bonds, please. Barry Bonds.
It ain't on that level.
Barry Bonds is crazy.
I didn't say it was. I'm just saying.
Here's the problem. He can't play Barry Bonds because he didn't do Barry Bonds.
Whoa, stop.
What?
No, it's credited. No, and it's credited. Knots did Barry Bonds. And it's credited, so it's no ghost production.
Boys break up Nah,
and it's credited. It's credited to Knots, so it's not even no beat jacking or nothing like that.
Wow.
It is credited
this
to Knots.
This tells you that I didn't read the credits.
But Knots did Barry Bonds. So yeah, ain't it a bitch when you, because people used to be like, yo, who better, Just Blaze or Kanye? And I'd be like, down and out and just walk away. So when I found out he didn't do down and out, it was like, oh God, you. Tell me this, Jace. Just Blaze doesn't make my top 10 of producers because he's never produced a whole album for self. How do you feel about that? Does a producer have to produce to be in your top 10? Does a producer have to produce an entire album for self?
Hell no, because you're a producer. Unless listen, so unless you're a dickhead and you're contractually obligated to a specific crew, a la like Manny Fresh to Cash Money early on, like nah, like why would you? Like, you know what I mean? You get hot with a certain person, like, oh, okay, now everybody else wants their shit. Like, I guarantee you, in the next 2 years, you're gonna be hearing mad Derringer beats for other people.
Oh, we already hear him now.
So it's like, nah.
Now here's the thing. Oh, you were saying actually Derringer. I thought you meant people biting Derringer, but you mean actually Derringer producing.
Yeah. Actually, Derringer actually doing shit.
Here's the thing. Kenneth just asked me, would I battle Knots? Kenneth, I am from Philly, motherfucker. I will battle anybody, but Knots will beat the shit out of me. I'll tell you that in a heartbeat. I'll tell you in a heartbeat, I'm gonna get knocked out. But I'm gonna go out swinging. I swear to God, I'll tell you that. So yes, I will battle Knots, but I will lose too. So I got no problem saying
like
that.
Old boy in the wood.
Yeah, hey, I'm
old boy
I'll be
in
like,
the wood. You gonna get that hit on Stacey?
Yeah. Who did Martin fight? Tommy Hitman Hearns? I'll be Martin at the end of the fight, but I'm in the ring, goddamn. Yes, I will battle Knots. And I will get knocked out.
Oh man,
y'all won't be able to say kill duck that. My teams in DC call it ducking that wreck. They'll be like, Mr. Kill, they ducking that wreck. I'm not ducking nobody's wreck, but I will lose. I tell you that. And that's on everybody. Yo, if I beat Knots in the beat battle, y'all, I'm treating all y'all motherfuckers. We going somewhere, man. We going to Mars. If I beat Knots in the battle, we going to Mars, man. The only reason why I said that, Jace, was like for me growing up, like the producers I idolized, they always produced an entire album. You know what I mean? So that's just like one of my stipulations. Like my man Nick, he got this in my head that he was like, yo, if you're in a group, you can't make my top 10 list unless you've done solo albums, because the difference between writing 16 bars and writing 48 bars is too big. So like, and I'm like, I never thought about, but I'm like, yeah, that is true. How can I put 3,000 never had to write a whole song? And again, this goes back to what you like in an MC. Like for me, I don't want an MC who just has bars. I want an MC that actually makes good songs. So like Pharoah makes my top 10, but that's because he's had 4 solo albums out after Organized, no Organized Confusion. But for me, with Just Like, it's like all my favorites, Primo, Dilla, Marley, Dre, Large Professor, every Kanye, they've all produced full bodies of work. Because to me, that's the real test, in my opinion. Can you do it? Like, can you produce a full body of work? Like, people like to shit on John Legend. John Legend first album, 5 Mile Classic to me. Kanye put his foot in that album. Like, I think that album is incredible. Yeah. But Rec, what about you? Does a producer and I'm sorry, Jace, who do you have? Just Blaze or Kanye West? Who's better?
Just Blaze or Kanye West? I don't know. That's actually a better battle than Kanye and Pharrell.
And Pharrell,
That's like, you know what I mean, I think they're definitely on the same level.
right.
But I don't know. I think I might go with Just Blaze.
Okay. All right. What about you, Rec? Just Blaze or Kanye West? And does it matter that just main man asked me, did Just Blaze produce Saigon's whole album? Nah, it's like 19 songs. I think Just did 10. And I actually wish he just did 10 and cut that album off.
Yes.
Because it would have been a classic album. Because I love what he did for it. I have no idea why they got 9 other people to come in and ruin it. But that's the closest that. And I want to say he may have done like a good 70% of Freeway's first album.
He did.
But he never did the whole album. So that's kind of like, you know, you almost graduated and you got like 18 more credits left, but you just didn't get there yet. Like I'm on my Brandy, almost doesn't count. So he hasn't produced a full album yet. Ed, what about you? Oh no, I'm sorry, Rick. Did you say who it was?
No, real quick caveat. I think Saigon is the reason why we don't have any Just Blaze on this J Electronica. I think that whole shit show had him step all the way the fuck back. You bring 2 dope fucking artists to the table and the labels get involved and you ain't involved in none of them. And with the Saigon situation, that shit didn't come out 2-3 years later. Just saying.
Now here's the thing. To talk about that, I think he didn't make the J Elect album. Something happened with him and Jay-Z.
Yes.
I don't know what, but I remember
they've been like this for a while.
Jay Elect was supposed to sign. Jay Elect was supposed to sign with Puffy, and we talked about that during the show because even on Shiny Suit Theory, when he's like, me and Puff was out in Miami, and it's funny because I never saw the time that him and Jay were at the Brooklyn Festival, and this was years ago because Jay had a haircut. Yeah. I just saw
Jay
it.
Came out, did Young Gifted and Black, killed that shit.
Right, but the fact that on Shiny Suit Theory, when they did it live with Jay, he said me and Jay was out in Miami, and that was after he signed to Rock Nation. So see, even with Exhibit C, if you hear Just Blaze doing all that talk, he like, yo, you're gonna have to get Puff to come do these ad-libs over. So when Jay Elect was signing with Puff, him and Just Blaze was clicking. As soon as he signed with Jay-Z, I remember seeing an interview and Just was saying, I don't know if I'm gonna do the album. So something happened with that. But the Saigon thing is one of the biggest drops in the history because this nigga is on Entourage every Sunday on HBO, and how that album wasn't out, like nigga, you playing yourself, like you are literally playing Saigon on the show, and the fact that after every episode of Entourage, it wasn't like, yo, go get the greatest story ever told, like that was some
they fucked that up
big time.
Somebody got fired. I don't know, man. I'm with Jace. That's right here for me, like. Given the day, I don't know who I'm gonna pick. Today, I'm gonna go with Just Blaze.
Okay,
I'm gonna go with Just Blaze. I fucked with that Freeway hard.
Oh yeah, what they do?
Line them up.
Line them up.
He set them guys off.
Yeah.
Oh boy, I remember the first time I heard that. My man White,
yeah.
my man White from TTC gave me the CD. He was like, "Yo, listen to this right now." And I was like, God damn,
right.
That old boy was crazy.
He has an extensive catalog.
The Free and
we don't
Beans.
Talk about.
What is that joint, Jace? Free and Beans. Rock the Mic. Oh my
Rock the
God.
Mic. Yes.
Right.
So he got some joints, and he plays that how he made it rather often when he's doing showcases. Yeah. I'm going with Just.
What about you, Eddie?
Damn.
I'm sorry, Ed.
I might go with Just because just the joints that Rec One was mentioning. I mean, but it's really a toss up, man. It really depends, what bag they're gonna go into. I mean, obviously, Kanye got joints too. Once you start remembering and naming them off, today I'll say Just.
Kenneth, my man Kenneth just said, and then Just can play the intro off the Dynasty, which was nasty. That intro is crazy. That joint
I don't remember it. I gotta listen to it.
Oh yeah, it's crazy. Vern, what you got?
Y'all just name Heat Rocks, but I'm gonna say Kanye because I listen to that stuff more. If I listen to it at all, and then like you said, the diversity, John Legend, Let's Get Lifted, the Brandy stuff, all the other things that he's done. Because of that, I'm gonna go Kanye, but just got heat, man. If line them up, bro, you can catch a felony off of that mug.
Yeah, yes, you can.
Yeah. The funny thing with that is I feel like with these battles, like if I was a Just Blaze or at that level, I'd almost be like, what are we battling? Are we battling hits? Are we battling bangers? You know what I mean? Because that's kind of where it comes in, because, Kanye could be like, yeah, this ain't as hot as, what we do, but nigga, this charted 8 on the Billboard charts and it helped Brandy sell. You know what I mean? So it's almost like, nah, nigga, this is just about who got the heat. If we talk about who got the heat, you got to go with Just Blaze. To me, Just Blaze and Kanye, when they came up in 2000, to me, they almost replaced Primo and Pete Rock. Because Primo used to be that go-to person. Like, you'd have a whole album of radio songs, and then you go get that Primo song. And that's what Just became. Like, that Fat Joe album was horrible, but then he had The Incredible. Like, it was like, go get a Just Blaze, because that thing is crazy.
Once again, back there's The Incredible. He was scratching that shit up.
Right. That was crazy. The stuff that he did on Beans joint, he got a joint on here called Get Down. Oh, my God. That just went to work on. But then Kanye got a joint on here, Nothing Like It, which is crazy, too. So,
which album is that, Kill? I can't see it.
This is The Reason, the second Beans album.
Okay.
The second Beans album. So, I mean, but you're right, Jace. That's a much better battle because it could go any way. If we doing bangers, then it's Just because he got, them street bangers, them hard street bangers. Tell me this: who had a better lineup on the Blueprint then, Jace? Just? Because what Just did, girls. Hold on. Damn. Just did girls.
Yeah,
girls.
Just.
Girls. You don't know. In Heart of the City. No, did he do Heart of the City?
I'll tell you right now. I'm pulling it up.
I think Kanye did Heart of the
City. Yeah. So Kanye did Takeover, H to the Izzo, Heart of the City.
Yep.
Never Change.
Yep.
And then Just did Girls. You Don't Know Song Cry. Song Cry takes it for me, so I gotta go.
For me, it's Breathe Easy for me.
What's that?
Breathe Easy. Breathe Easy. 1, that's all. 2. That's a hidden track.
Yeah.
Oh, I never even go past Blueprint Mama. So who did that?
Just Blaze.
That's the thing, man. See, this is where hip hop got whacked. This is where hip hop got whacked to me. I don't want to have to listen to for 20 minutes of air to hear a hidden song. So I didn't even know there was no hidden songs.
Yeah, Breathe Easy and Girls. The remix or part 2 is on is hidden.
Well, Girls, that's Kanye.
No, yeah. I was just saying those two are hidden. Those are two hidden tracks.
You're going with Just. All right. What about you, Vern?
Off of that album, I'm going
off the Blueprint. Yeah. And Eddie, you go with Ye?
I'm going with Ye. Yeah, I think that Chemistry was dope.
Yeah. I mean, and I think the thing, Trey was just on the show and he was talking about how Guru was telling him how, like, Jay brought Bink into the studio and kind of showed him, like, this is what's going on. Like, you'd have Justin Ye in different rooms and, Jay-Z just pushing them like, yo, I just heard some shit Ye did, nigga. You got to do better than that. And just, again, to me, that healthy competition of just knowing that there's another producer in the room who's coming for your spot. Yeah. You know what I mean? And to me, I think that's what gave the Blueprint. Here's a good question. Is the Blueprint a classic?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Goddamn right.
Okay, one of the things I think that made it the classic was when you're having people push each other. You know what I mean? Where it's just like, yo, like it's almost like going out for a job. If there's one job and we all unemployed, all 5 of us are going to be suit and tied up, resumed up. We're going to be yes, sir, no, sir. Who can get there the earliest. It's almost like, and I feel like that's the problem with making music nowadays. You don't have that push. So people just kind of come in. I'm sure, I don't know. I can say I have. I've been on plenty of job interviews I really didn't want, and I could tell I really didn't want them. You know what I mean? I kind of just was like, yeah, I'm here. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, and this is like after graduation, like, because I wanted to be doing the music thing, and I got to get a job, and it wasn't in my heart to get no job. This ain't Married with a Kid Kill. If this Married with a Kid Kill, trying to get any job he got if he ain't working. But I'm talking about the 22-year-old. I still think I'm gonna beat Just Blaze. Like, mom telling me to go get a job, like, fine. But I felt like that's what made those albums so dope. So tell me this, on the Black album, who's better, Kanye or Just?
Ooh.
Because Kanye is Just is December 4th.
Yep.
What else is Just?
PSA.
PSA. And I think that's it for Just. And Kanye is Encore, and Lucifer. For some reason, I thought they did more on this. That's crazy. For some reason, I thought they did a lot more, but they only did 2 apiece.
Wow.
Man. Okay.
That was when like Ninth Wonder stepped into the mix.
Right. And then Pharrell did like 3 because Pharrell did Change Clothes and the Lore. And then he had Quick did Justify My Thug.
Yeah.
Timberland.
Timberland. Yeah, and Eminem. Yeah, for some reason I thought they did more on this album than that, but they only did 2 apiece. So out of those,
a whole bunch of people on that one.
Man, okay.
So out of
Who
those,
did What More Can I Say?
That was like the Buccaneers or something.
Yeah, that's the Buchanans.
Yeah, I called them the Buccaneers. I said the Tampa Bay Bucks did that joint, dog.
Buccaneers.
The Buchanans. The Buchanans.
That's an ill ass name.
Buccaneers. See, somebody gonna change their production crew name to the Buccaneers, man.
Buccaneers.
Yo, trust me, from losing Twitter accounts, they gonna sue you if you change your name to the Buccaneers. The NFL will sue you, so don't even.
You don't want that smoke.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. But then they try to do
there was a reggae artist named Buccaneer, so
there was.
But even
heard from him since '98.
It's got to be something too, because Smith and Wesson spelled it different than Smith and Wesson, and they still had to change their name because it was Smith, like SM.
The way they said it,
bro.
Yeah.
That's gun lobby money. You ain't messing with that.
Hell no.
This NFL money. I don't think they mess with the NFL
you ain't
money.
messing with the NFL either. Yeah.
All right. So Kenneth got Just Blaze on the Black Album. Who you got, Jace?
Shit, on the Blackout. I mean, I got Just Blaze because neither of them did too much work on it. So
right. And that PSA is kind of like
that's the one I listen to the most on that album.
Yeah.
That's the trump card. Yeah.
And it's hard because I love Lucifer.
Lucifer is crazy.
I still, you know what? I'll go with PSA. You know, I'm gonna go with Lucifer, and I'm gonna knock points off just because he stole that shit from Buck Wild. Buck used that sample back on the OC album back in '94. So I'm gonna do that with Just. So I'm gonna go with Lucifer. But Vern, you got Just. All right, Rec, you got Just too?
Yeah, just out of the sheer amount of songs. I mean, looking at it, Kanye did Encore and Lucifer. But Lucifer, to me, personal opinion, outside of the PSA, dopest song on that album.
Yeah.
I mean, to take that whole situation and put it in that type of song form where you felt that shit.
Yeah.
Sorry.
All right. Frank said, who would you put 45 King against?
Ooh.
Okay.
45 King.
All right.
That's locked.
Yo, it's funny you say that.
Yo,
he put in the comments, who would you put 45 King against? Parentheses, I'm old. So,
okay. All right. I'm about to say Frank must got some age on him.
45.
Easy Mo B, maybe.
Fucking Teddy Riley.
I think Easy Mo B will wash 45 King.
But I think it's one of those things. Because here's the thing with 45 King, you really gotta be a digger. Like, I'm not really like 45 King was like Latifah, you talking Flavor Unit, you talking my man Lakeem Shabazz,
right?
You know what I mean?
Early Jersey stuff.
A lot of that early stuff didn't really have the reach.
That's like
that most people,
89, 90.
Yeah, like you talking Latifah's first album. So I don't think he really has the reach. I mean, we could put him up against anybody. I don't think he fares well against anybody. Then somebody out there could be like, well, when he plays Hard Knock Life by Jay, that's going to shut everything down. But I'm not, see, that's the thing with me. I'm not the knockout punch artist. Like, I don't think, like, people will be like, who's better, Peter Preem? And then they'll be like, well, once Pete throws on Troy. And I'm like, nigga, Troy ain't even my top 5 premier beats.
Right.
So I'm not that knockout person like, oh, well, once 45 King puts Hard Knock Life on, the game over for everybody. It's like, not really. Like, I loved Hard Knock Life, but it don't knock out, like, Easy Mo B's discography with the Lost Boys, with Lex Coops and Beamers, and, you know, the stuff he did with Flavor in Your Ear, and, you know, Warning, the stuff he was doing with Biggie, like, you know. But if you believe in the knockout punch, then somebody would say, well, yeah, Hard Knock Life basically will knock out, you know, whatever Large Professor did. Like, if we said Large Professor, but I totally disagree with the knockout punch. So it's really just about how you look at fights. My man Wisdom Since 70 said Howie T. That may be a good battle. No, it might. That's a good battle because here you go. You got Howie did special ed. You gotta remember how he did special ed. How he was doing Chuck Rock. You know, people don't remember the real Roxanne Bang Zoom was the shit back in '86. You know what I mean? For old people, you know that may be a good battle. Howie T is a good joint because I don't think he gets enough props for what he did.
45 King versus Prince Paul.
You good, Kill? Take a minute, bro.
Oh my God.
You gonna kill up here, man.
This nigga trying to kill me, man. This nigga about to kill me. No. Prince Paul, what do y'all think about Prince Paul as a producer? Top 10?
I think
no, not top 10.
Top 10? For beats or for beats or for influence?
Beats.
Top
Beats.
10.
We just talking
No.
beats.
No.
I mean, he had his time like everybody else had their time.
Yeah.
Yes. Beats, no. Influence, yes.
Yeah.
Beats, no. The closest he'll come to that is maybe something he did on Stetson Sonic or maybe the Gravediggers if RZA let him touch the ASR or something like that.
I mean, I'm a big De La Soul fan.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, just
the
stuff he did for De La. I mean, I can't give him top 10, but just the stuff he did for De La, I think. I mean, to this day, "Ring Ring Ring" is probably one of my favorite songs ever.
I love that song, but that's one album.
Yeah, I can't put him in top 10, but and I think probably because I was never a fan of like the Prince Among Thieves. Like I wasn't a fan of those theatrical albums.
Club.
Yeah, the Handsome Boy Modeling Club. He reminds me of a Cool Keith type dude. You know what I mean? Who you know, because like Cool Keith lost me after the first Ultra album. First Ultra album, 1987. I'll tell you in a minute. Cool Keith one of the nastiest niggas walking the planet. After that, I don't know what happened to Cool Keith. He moved out there to LA and Hollywood, and he ain't never been the same since.
Drugs.
Yeah,
drugs is crazy, man.
So tell me this: would you want, coming off of De La's last album, that I don't know how you felt about it, Jace, but all four of us thought it was a flop. Would you want to see a Prince Paul De La reunion, or is it too late?
Yeah,
is
for nostalgia's sake, just to see what they could do. Yeah, like
okay.
You know what I mean.
I always wonder, is it just too late? You know how like you was a kid and you be like, oh, I want Ric Flair to wrestle Hulk Hogan, and by the time they do it, it's like 8 years too late. Like, you know, nobody ever like does it. Same thing with Mayweather and Pacquiao. It was like when we got it, it was like it wasn't in the prime. Like, you know, like that.
5 years too late.
Yeah, it was 5 years too late. But I feel just for nostalgia, I would. Wisdom Since 70 says not a whole project, you know. Yeah. I'm still waiting for this Pete Rock premiere De La album. That's supposed to be.
Man, stop all these announcements, man. Just put the stuff out. I'm sick of everybody making announcements about stuff. You set yourself up for failure, and then you never put it out. So yeah, either put it out or don't. But don't tell me.
Hey, main man said Prince Paul is top 10. No, he said he's not better than Diamond D.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, I agree with that, but that's not like really a bad shot. That's like saying, you know what I mean? Like,
it's not.
If you say some shit like, you know, I feel like a shot is like somebody saying, yo, Common ain't top 10. He ain't better than Smooth B. Like, I feel like that's a shot. Like, you know, like, yo, I mean, Common is better than Smooth B. You know, so it's not, but saying Prince Paul ain't top 10, he's not better than Diamond D. Like, Diamond D is Diamond D. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we're not talking about, you know, no walk in the park. We're talking about stunts, blunts, and hip hop, which to me is a certified hip hop classic. I mean, all of that stuff. So, you know, wow. So, all right. So, De La, would y'all want another? So, would you, Vern, De La, you love him to death. You want another De La album?
I need one because I can't let that be my last memory of
it. So you want one more. Yeah. But here's the thing. And again, it comes down to your difference. I know a lot of people who love Michael Jordan who say, I wish his career ended with the push off in Utah. Like, and then I know people because they're like, legacy is sealed, done deal. Then there are other Jordan fans that are like, nah, I like them playing with the Wizards. But those people who wish it stopped in Chicago are the ones who are like, oh, that just messed up, you know, his whole legacy because you out here playing pickup ball looking like an idiot with the Wizards.
Man, I think if they got with some hip hop producers and not this live band and 18,000 hours of studio time and those the big well, we ain't gonna even go back there. But no, I want to hear something else from them. If they lay me down after that, I'm good. I'm gonna stop at Grind Date and let that be my last movie.
You too, huh?
Grind Date was dope.
Grind Date.
Wisdom Since 70 says Die in Peace and Die in Peace 2 were both cool. Wisdom Since 70, they're both cool. Sounds like they were good. What's my saying, y'all, that I forgot? It wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad.
It wasn't that
And
bad.
then, for people out there watching who don't know it, if you just got finished having sex with a young lady and you ask how'd you do, and she says, you weren't that bad, then nigga, you were not that good. So you can't tell me an album wasn't that bad, but then try to like kind of slide it in under the door like it was really dope. But so Die in Peace, and I guess for me, I expect more from Diamond. Like Diamond to me is one of the great ones. So Die in Peace 1 and 2 were both cool. I agree 100% with you. But to me, cool. And again, like y'all said at the beginning of the show, the media has infiltrated my mind. I can't do nothing without giving something 5 mics. I rate friends on mic levels. Like I asked Nay one day, she was like, I don't like my teacher. How many mics you give her? She like a 3. I'm like,
God damn.
like yeah. So like even Nay knows the mic. Yo, we get off roller coasters. How many mics you get at? That was 4. Like literally, it's
That's
embedded.
hilarious.
That is hilarious. That is
like
hilarious.
Chris Rock said, the media did it. Everything to me is a mic system. So something that's cool, that's like 2.5, 3 mics. You know what I mean? Like a good album to me is 3 mics. And that is what the Die in Peace is. Like, and Wisdom Said 70 says a 3.5. So yeah, no, they're both main man. They're worth checking out. But again, when you go see LeBron James play, I think you want to see greatness. You want to see LeBron drop. Like Vern, if you take your grandson to go see Trae Young, you want to see him shoot 3-pointers from the stands. You don't want to see Trae average drop 12 and 4 and have 8 turnovers. Like you don't want to see that. So that's the thing. So main man, it's definitely worth checking out, but it's just this ain't stunts, blunts, and hip hop. Like just lower your expectations a little, because it ain't stunt, blunts, and hip hop, but it's still good. What about you? So Jace, I know you would take another Daylight album. Rec, you want another Daylight album?
Nah, I'm with Vern. I'm good at the Grind Date.
Ed,
I'll stop right there.
Same. Yeah. Grind Date was I think that album's a classic.
Me too.
I agree.
Too.
You know,
I agree.
but after that, man, it's just I don't know. You know,
I wonder if real life just comes into play. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
a lot happened.
Niggas got kids. If I'm not, Dave is sick. He can't even perform. He has to wear like the heart monitor thing on him to like shock his heart back in place. And I think Dave, True Boy.
Oh, word?
Yeah, like he can't even perform. Like he may come out, he may be on stage, backstage, and then he'll come out to do certain songs, but he can't do like a whole set. Like I mean, the nigga literally has to like wear a bag, like so in case his heart. So it can like shock his heart too.
Yeah,
and then
Mace's son. Remember that whole situation?
Yeah, I heard he played. Right, he plays football though. Something happened.
He did. He had some mental issues.
He's in Canada.
I don't know where he's at, but I know his son had to shut it down. His son was out here wilding, beating up women. Wow. He was a beast on the football field. He was one of them cats. When you watch the game, he was like, "Oh, okay, this guy's nice." He played for the Rams, I think it was.
Yeah, Wisdom
and
Trey
Mason.
Yes, was about to be that guy.
He was in Buffalo for a minute.
Was about to be that guy, and then has some mental issues, and hasn't been in the league since.
And I know with Pasta Noose, he had a mental breakdown. Like I don't know, and this is years ago, so this ain't even new. But like he had like a mental breakdown. So I mean, the thing about Daylight, I mean, they've been together since I was in 9th grade. We're going back to '88. You know what I mean? So it's like, you know, I'm 46, and to say you've been a group from 14 to 46, it's like, you know, you got to deal with, you know, a lot of stuff in a long time and everything doesn't fit. Here's the album that I was waiting on and we never got. And I thought that whoever came up with this album was ingenious. We supposed to get the Pete versus Premier album, where each one of them were going to get 8 artists and wouldn't tell the other one who those artists were. So that when the album drops and we hear it for the first time, it would be the first time Pete would hear what Primo did. And it would be the first time Primo got to hear what Pete did. And I was like, yo, that's the dopest fucking concept. Like, yo, that's crazy because you have no idea if this dude is going to get back with CL Smooth. You don't know how anybody's going to move. And the fact that you don't get to hear it until the fans hear it, I thought was crazy. But I mean, that album is probably going on 10 years ago. So I'm with Vern. I'm like, I wish people would just stop announcing. You see it all the time on Instagram. Big announcement tomorrow. You know, just just say it. Just just say it. Oh, y'all know what I really hate? I hate the trolling of like people being like, yo, I think I'm dropping an album. How many retweets can I get? Or retweet if you think I should. Nigga, y'all that damn insecure. Just drop the album.
They are.
Yeah.
Usher did it today. Hey, man.
Right. That's who it was. That's who it was.
Man, if you
Usher?
Man, these artists and entertainers are so narcissistic and so starving for somebody to swallow. Man, sit down somewhere. We trying to live, man.
I'm like, like that's what I love. That's what I do love about now. I do love the secret albums. I love like even with the D'Angelo, the Black Messiah, like it was like on Fridays coming out on Monday, and it was like, tell me that, but don't tell me Black Messiah. Because I'm still waiting for there was a documentary that it was at one of these film festivals about D'Angelo that never came out. Like, this was before the whole Corona, not this year's film festival, but last year's. And I'm like, we still ain't got that. Like, and I was waiting for that D'Angelo documentary. You know what I mean? So I mean, I don't know what it is about artists like that and why it takes them so long. Anybody even want a D'Angelo album anymore? Or are we done with D?
I mean, I'll take it. I'm a fan.
Yeah, I'll take it. Yeah,
I'm a fan. I'll take it.
I feel like, if he's gonna drop an album, he's gonna drop it when he's ready. And I feel like, that goes back to the whole Jay Electronica thing. Jay Electronica took 10 years, 13 years, whatever, to drop an album. And for me, it was just cool. D'Angelo took that time between each of his albums, but the quality was there. Yeah. Like you can't say any of them albums were trash. They were dope albums. So I feel like if he does release something, he's going to make sure that it's up to his standards.
All right. What about you, Vern? I know you wasn't really feeling Black Messiah.
Yeah. I mean, if he drops one, I'll listen to it. Hopefully I like it. If I don't, I just go back to Brown Sugar and be cool.
Yo, the funny thing about Brown Sugar, and people this is doing a lot for, but where is this album? Yo, this joint right here was kind of dope. The Chico DeBarge joint. I know it was a basic, D'Angelo ripoff, but I see Vern laughing. But yo, this was a dope album. Y'all ain't mess with this album?
Chico DeBarge?
Chico DeBarge? You never heard of it?
Look, man, my wife is sitting right here. She loved Chico DeBarge, so it's in her.
Huh? What you say, Jason?
Was that on?
This was on Kedar. This was Kedar.
What's the name of the album?
Massenburg.
This is Long Time No See. This is a 5 mic album, y'all.
He got out of prison.
He bit D'Angelo style. The joint you have me with D Long.
You have
this is a 5 mic album, man. Even
what's
when
that album again? What's it called?
Long Cloud No See.
You have Long Cloud No See? Chico DeBarge?
No, Long Time.
Long Time No See.
Long Cloud.
You had it?
I had it.
Okay, she had it. It probably got lost in the moves, but she got it on digital. That's probably the album that I've heard. She put
this
that.
This was another D'Angelo ripoff. That was a dope album.
Yo, hold up, man. He looked like he quarantined for light skinned niggas. Yo, take that.
Yo, quarantined for light skinned niggas.
Yo, do something with that, man.
This was a very Myron.
Who?
Myron. Myron.
You know what? You remind me of people. You be like, Tony. No, no, Tony. Tony. No,
Tony with the blue coat.
Tony to wear jeans and Nikes.
No, that look like Joe Smo with Capitol Hill.
Yo, I'm telling y'all, Myron, y'all laughing. Myron Destiny. Listen to this joint. Yo, y'all know we all. It's funny.
Yo, all right, yeah, you say so. I trust your word, bro. I trust your word.
I'm telling you, Myron, y'all laughing.
Myron Destiny.
I'm telling you. You know how y'all remember this song? He had a joint out called "We Could Get Down" with Spinderella.
I hope that when you drop the mic moment, Q.
Oh my God, no.
All right, yo, Bird, it really was about dropping the mic.
Hey, kill.
Myron. You don't know my cousin Myron?
Kill.
Myron.
Kill. that looked like the album that you go to church and that's someone's nephew. So they're like,
That's his cousin Myron.
like, check out my nephew's CD.
Oh boy.
Yo,
Myron.
yo,
Oh,
y'all,
shit.
Stomach hurt, man.
yo, y'all really got me crying in here, yo. I'm telling
Myron
y'all,
Destiny. Okay.
yo,
Hey, it's on
Telling you.
iTunes. Wow. Okay.
boy, I'm telling you, man. Yo, Vern, do me this justice. The first song I want you to listen to Angel.
Oh, shit.
Listen to number 12. When we get off, listen to Angel, and then tell me that joint ain't crazy. And even though it's Spinderella, yo, y'all remember this song? Y'all remember? He had a song with Spinderella.
Let me guess. She doing the cuts and scratches.
No, she's rapping.
Oh hell no, I'm cool. That's even worse. That's even worse.
Wow.
Go to YouTube. Everybody out there watching who is laughing. Kenneth is like, Kill's the first dude I've ever seen with that Myron album. Yeah, man, I dig in the crates. I dig.
I could imagine.
Lying.
And that's what you came out with?
No. I'm lying because if you see this cut, that was the labels used to send me all.
That's why I asked you.
Okay,
like,
I was getting ready to ask. Like, what
that's
made
why.
you buy
that
that?
nigga ain't making the prime time. They put him in the tuck and wrote him off.
I could imagine making that song, and he's telling his people, he's like, I always wanted to do a joint with salt and pepper. Hey, let's see what we could do. You know what? We couldn't get salt, we couldn't get pepper, but Spinderella want to rap for you.
She got bars too.
Yeah. If you go,
dog.
yo, when we get off of this, go to YouTube, put in Myron and Spinderella, and y'all gonna understand. This is what I want y'all to do. Clear the air. Like I need a Men in Black moment. Like just do the flashing light. Just do the flashing light and just listen to this song with Myron and Spinderella and think back to 97. It's very brown sugarish. So Vern, you should love it. It was a blatant D'Angelo bite. So it's very brown sugarish. Very brown sugarish. Not even the brown sugar the song, but just the whole album.
The
just
album,
that vibe.
yeah.
Just
Okay.
that
Right.
No, I'm listening to it. It sounds like Lady. Yeah.
Right.
He said a Neo Soul.
I'm
No,
telling
I
you,
don't remember seeing Myron at the Black Lily. No.
nah, because he ain't from Philly. He ain't from Philly.
Oh man.
I don't know where. Look, I don't know where
my
Myron.
motherfuckers was from Philly.
The
Jet
Black
Well,
Lily.
Nasties wasn't from Philly. I'm not listening to them right
But
now.
I mean, they moved to Philly. Man. You know, like so.
Oh
Yeah,
man.
man, y'all got me crying. I'm telling y'all,
AKA the 5 spot.
y'all gonna listen to Myron and with a clear, open mind. Tell me
Myron.
that Salt, wisdom is bugging off for Eddie. Salt said no, Pepper said not, Spence said well. I did wonder how did Spinderella, because I'm like, I didn't even know you rap. Like, where did this even come from? But oh god,
Which
all right.
Spinderella was it?
No, not the one, not the Dee Roper, the one that they just kicked out the group. That's Spinderella.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so not the. So Myron was a bootleg Maxwell D'Angelo. Yes, he was, and that was D'Angelo's fault because he took so long to come out with Voodoo. So people loved that sound. I mean, just like with anything, I felt like music. The first time I heard Just Friends, I felt like that was D'Angelo type of knockoff. Here go
that was
Wisdom.
that Roots influence.
Black Lily or 5 spot would not accept Myron. See, Jace,
Wow.
now you got people talking about the 5 spot and Black Lily.
Hold up, who is in there that know about the 5 spot? They must be from back home.
Wisdom 70.
Okay.
Kenneth Myron was a bootleg D'Angelo. I'm not denying that. So was Chico DeBarge, but I'm just saying sometimes you can be a bootleg and do it not as better or even as good, but that Chico DeBarge album, what Breck you call it, Lost Cloud, long time.
I couldn't hear you. I couldn't hear you.
That is a good album. I'll tell you somebody else that people sleep on. Reese out of Philly. Very dope album, man.
R.E.S.
Yeah.
She's dope. She's dope. She's dope.
More people.
Where's Reese?
She's dope.
She was dope, but she got caught because she dropped the same day as Alicia Keys' first album.
She did.
And she didn't have that push. Matter of fact, Jason, I don't know if you know, Roots did like 3 joints on there on the Reese's first album. Yeah, but Yeah, y'all
and
funny,
fucking
man. Y'all funny, man. Y'all gotta listen to Myron and everybody out here in the chat. Listen to Myron and
Man, this is the most anybody has ever talked outside of his family
No, you
reunion about Myron.
yo, we done resurrected that nigga. That nigga
Oh,
crazy.
For real.
He about to go to the studio right
His dream's
now.
gonna go to 6.
Yo,
Oh,
I think
my
I think Myron told Kill he could get his Twitter account back.
That's his cousin.
Oh shit.
That's his cousin Myron.
Yo, man.
Oh
I
man.
know y'all watch videos as much. Y'all ain't never see that Iggy video with
Hey,
Chico
man.
DeBarge in jail with Nia
Yes.
Long?
Dog.
Yes, I did see that. He had the
Okay.
jail suit on, the orange
Right.
jumpsuit. Yeah.
And that joint was dope, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Hey man, you ain't gonna walk me down that rabbit hole, bro. I walk cats down rabbit hole for a living, man. You ain't gonna get me like that.
I give up. Yes, Kenneth Talib and Reese had a group called Idol Worship, Wisdom Since 70. I think they were smashing. They probably were. I think everybody's smashing. That's crazy, man. All right, y'all. So listen to the Myron.
No.
No, man, come on, just listen to the song, man.
I'm good.
Oh man, see, and I'm trying to tell y'all, man. Dude was dope, man. Who Myron? Damn, who else?
Hey, you know what? You know what's gonna happen, right? He's gonna edit this video and put the Myron song in the background.
Now y'all know this.
Listen to this song.
Oh, man.
Nah, this is all live.
Nah, you gonna start getting pop-up Instagram ads and shit.
All right, y'all. Top three. Before we go, top 3 black male R&B groups from the 90s. Top 3.
Ooh,
Wow. Oops.
In no particular order.
All right.
Nah, in order.
Oh wow.
Okay, in order.
I'm going Jodeci, Drew Hill, Boys to Men.
I got 112 up there, along with those guys. Well, probably 4th spot for me.
All right. So who's your top 3, Eddie? You said?
I got I gotta put Jodeci. I gotta put Boys to Men. I might have 112 above Drew Hill, but Drew Hill is there
Just
too.
3, Eddie. 3, man.
Oh, 3. Yeah. So 112 is in my first spot. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So you got
Jodeci, Boys to Men, and 112.
Boys to Men and 112. Who you got, Vern?
Boys to Men, Jodeci, and Intro.
Oh, Intro with the Dark Horse. All right. What about you, Jace? I know you ain't really R&B, but
should I go Jodeci 112 and Jodeci 112 and Drew Hill. Yeah.
All right. And what about you, Rack?
I got Jodeci. Intro is in my top 3, and Jodeci Intro, and I'll go Drew Hill. I can't stand Boys to Men.
All right. Kenneth Williams got Jodeci, Drew Hill, and 112. Oh, Wisdom got Drew Hill is better than Jodeci, who's better than Boys to Men. That's a take. That's a take. But you know what? I'm not mad at that take. Wisdom Since 70. I'm not mad at that take. I mean, Jodeci has bigger songs, but Drew Hill, people sleep on Drew Hill. Drew Hill's second album has some bangers on it, man. These Are the Times. I mean, them dudes had some joints. Top 5 rap groups of the 90s. No, all time. Top 5 rap groups all time.
Here you go.
Rap groups of all time? Top 3?
All time. Top
Personal
5.
favorites, right? Personal?
Yeah, whatever you guys, your personal favorite.
I'll go first. I can throw this off the top of my head. EPMD, Gangstar, Public Enemy. Does that count? Or can I? Okay, yeah. Public Enemy, Tribe, and man, groups. I'm gonna throw a monkey wrench in there, man. Nah, I ain't gonna do that. I ain't gonna do that. I think I only got 4, man.
All right. My man Frank says no Jagged Edge. Not for me, Frank. I felt like Jagged Edge was like a broke Jodeci and a broke Drew Hill put together. Jagged Edge, and they got those songs. Don't get it twisted. I got a best of Jagged Edge slow jam.
Hey,
CD,
I'm gonna throw my fifth in there for the wife. She
What's
said
that?
she said Arrested Development. Don't kill her.
Oh,
Everybody, man, they like. Hey,
Yo, funny Arrested Development story. I'm living in Atlanta.
Love it.
Living in Atlanta, trying to get on with beats. I'm at the mall. I run into Speech. I'm like, yo, I'm a producer. Woo, woo, woo. He was like, all right, if you come to church with me on Sunday, I'll listen to your beats. And at that time, I was not doing no church stuff. So I was like really stuck. Like, oh my God, do I go to church? Am I going to go to hell if I go to church just to sell a beat? And I ended up not going. But I just thought that was kind of crazy that he was like, if you come to church with me, then I'll listen to your beats. So
that was a
test.
test.
Cool, hung out with him several times. Me and
Speech.
my guy. Yeah, went over his house. My autograph should still be on his wall. Went to the movies with him a couple times.
Okay. I thought you said you just went over his house. I'm like, nigga, we got Corona. You ain't in the house? Like, you out here trying to get Corona for Speech? To hang out with Speech? Like, if you gonna get Corona, nigga, hang out with somebody, but not Speech.
I will say, I give props to Speech because he got me on stage when KRS was on the side of the stage. He was doing Sound of Police at Piedmont Park. So that was a dope experience.
That's dope, man. That's dope. Frank got Run DMC, Public Enemy, EPMD, Gangstar, and Tribe. Who you got, Vern?
I knew it was coming.
Outkast, Tribe, De La. You got them right there behind you.
Yeah, pretty much. They all right there.
And I'm gonna say Public Enemy.
All right. What about you, Ed?
I got Tribe, Gangstar. I got Outkast. I got The Roots, and maybe EPMD.
Okay. All right. What about you, Jace?
Roots, EPMD, BDP, De La Soul, and Tribe Called Quest.
All right. And I got Outkast, Gangstar, EPMD, Tribe, and Public Enemy. Question: do y'all call people who are in a duo? So is EPMD a group or a duo, or does it matter?
I think it's a group.
It's a group.
Depending on how my brain is feeling, which word to use. Shit.
All right, cool. Out of the people who made your top 5, and this is where I got my, if I can only take one CD driving to Atlanta, it's from Jace, from when we would drive to Atlanta. And I'm always saying that, you know, if I had to take one CD, like that's how I can judge it. Like if you gotta drive to Atlanta and back and just listen to one CD. Out of the people you named, what CD would that be?
Ooh.
So out the 5 groups that y'all just named, what one CD? You gotta travel from Baltimore, Maryland to Atlanta, Georgia, which is about 14 hours.
Yep.
And you can only take one CD. What CD would it be? You know what? I'll give you 2. One you could take one on the way down and one on the way up. So you get 2 CDs. So what 2 CDs
out of those groups?
Out of the 5 groups you just named, what would the 2 CDs be? I know for me, Aquemini would definitely be one. That would definitely be one. And probably Midnight. Either Midnight or It Takes a Nation. It may be It Takes a Nation. Either or. I could, if I had to pick, it would be probably Aquemini and It Takes a Nation. It would be those 2.
Okay.
What about you, Ruck?
So I'm taking either Hard to Earn or Daily Operation. Just depends on which one I grab. And then on the way back, I'm probably gonna take EPMD's is it the second or the third album? The joint with I'm Bad.
That's the third
or Rampage. I'm taking that out. I'm taking that out.
All right. What about you, Eddie?
I'm taking Midnight Marauders and Things Fall Apart.
All right. What about you, Vern?
And Stakes is High.
Okay.
Is high. You was frozen. Okay. I thought you was giving us the frozen
you was frozen for a second. I was like, oh. Then you did the ventriloquist thing. You was talking and your mouth was closed. I'm like, this nigga playing trombone and now he damn ventriloquist. And Jace, what you got? And what you got?
Criminal Minded and Strictly Business.
Strictly Business?
Yeah.
Yeah, love. Goddamn, I love that album.
Soundtrack of my 11th grade year, brother. Woo, yes.
Kenneth Williams says Low Wind in the Infamous. Wisdom 70 says Things Fall Apart in Aquemini. Main Man, AT Aliens in Midnight Marauders. And Wisdom since 70 is just fucking with me and said that Myron album is what he's taking. So.
Myron.
Thank you. Thank you. Y'all gonna listen to it. Well, unless Jace. Y'all gonna listen to this album one night. Y'all gonna listen to it now. Y'all gonna be bored in quarantine. Y'all gonna be like, you know what? Let me fucking listen to this album, and we're gonna do another show. And y'all gonna be like, you know what? Kill, this wasn't that damn bad.
If it's on Spotify, I'm gonna listen to it. If it's on Spotify, I'm gonna listen to it.
All right, Rack, give them all the information, man. Where can they get at you? Get the mixes and everything, man.
So I just posted a new mix on Mixcloud. I'm doing a new series, Music for My Friends. Just posted volume 1. So on Mixcloud, just type in DJ Rec 1, and it's DJ Rec 1 NE. The only way I can get it in there. Twitter is at DJ Rec 1. Instagram is the same, man. Support your boy.
All right, Eddie, where can they get at you, good brother?
On Twitter at EddieD80 and on Instagram, Eddie Got Soul.
All right, Vern.
On Twitter, Myron's biggest fan.
See that? See, and here it goes. It's cool. It's cool. See, here's the funny thing. Here's the funny thing. You know what? You know what? You know what? Watch this. This is what we're gonna do. Cause y'all see Wisdom 70, like I'm sampling something off that joint. LOL. Here's the thing. Here's the funny part. I'm about to play y'all something. I'm about to let me get these speakers on.
Oh shoot.
See?
Oh man.
Nah, since Wisdom said that, and this joke, I got something for you, Wisdom. Hold on for 1 second. Let me close this out. I'm gonna bring this up because I have sampled something off the Myron album. I'm gonna play it. And hold on, where is this at?
It's his cousin.
Auntie Betty said, "You better talk about my baby."
Oh man!
He said, "Kill, don't you be on that podcast of yours and don't talk about your cousin."
Oh man! I'm pulling out my black and mild. I'm gonna be on my Shannon Sharp for this one.
I gotta get these AirPods out so I can get this going. We are gonna get this rolling. Where is this at?
Motherfucking Byron. Oh man. Oh shoot.
Yo, that's like something.
All right, here we go, y'all. I'm gonna play this.
So you named your pet Jay?
Yeah, pet turtle. Byron, 4 years old or shit.
All right, yeah. I want y'all to listen to this. And this is a sample. So Wisdom, Myron said, "Kill the stems in the mask." God damn y'all, man. Here. And this is a sample.
What, nigga, you just made the beat or something?
Stop.
It's only here for you.
See,
It's all started from everything you do, and I love you. I can't stop and I want it so good.
Now, what down? See that beat was dope, man.
The beat was dope because T killed it.
right.
I'm not saying the beat is wet. It's
Y'all gonna respect Myron out here. He done got signed to a record label.
Myron.
Back his artistry. God, man.
Oh, shit.
Oh
man.
He was in band camp with Myron.
Oh man.
I'm not even gonna tell you the name of the album, man, because y'all messing with me over here in the chat.
Oh
The name of the album,
shit.
Destiny. The name of the album,
Destiny.
by Myron. He is on the Def R&B. What was Def Jam's R&B
Oh,
label?
Def Soul.
He was on Def Soul.
He was signed to Def Soul.
Yeah,
Wow.
Burn with the trombone. Jay, so you on any,
signed?
are you? Yes, he was signed. Yes.
Dang. Who A&R'd that project?
Y'all act like
The kill
They said kill. They said kill A&R'd it.
All right, Jay, are you on any social media?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Facebook,
Twitter,
I
IG?
mean, Twitter is 1010 wins. Instagram is 10_10 wins on Instagram.
All right, no
Jason
doubt.
Brown on Facebook.
You already know what it is. Kill for the time being. Apartment 5B on Twitter. Kill 889 on IG. We'll make beats for food. Good time chopping it up with y'all. Everybody's crying in the damn chat. I'm glad I could make everybody laugh during the corona, during COVID, make fun of Kill and Myron, and then you're gonna listen. I need to stop saying I ain't say it like that until y'all. I'd always like Myron. Now I'm like Myron,
Myron.
Right.
Myron sound like a nigga from PG County with some bootleg Guess jeans on and a pair of fucking Timberland chuckers.
Oh, shit.
Myron got a bootleg Gucci belt on with a white t-shirt tucked in.
Joy and laughter to everybody's night.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Oh shit.
So glad I could bring so much joy and laughter. I will check y'all next week. Thank everybody for tuning in. Another live at Apartment 5B. I don't even know where I'm at. About to say